Mm-hmm. Welcome to beautiful Ephraim, Utah here in Badger Stadium. We're set to watch the Snow College Badgers about to kick off against Pima Community College in what's sure to be an outstanding matchup for first place in the conference. Snow has won the toss and they are going to go ahead and receive the football to kick off this first half. Nathan Farmer of Pima set to kick off with Jonathan Trineman and Parker Prater back to receive.
Let's see what the Badgers can do here on the kick return. They've had quite a bit of success at times with the return as it looks like they break one there.
The flag comes out, thrown back at the 23-yard line, but again, Jonathan Trineman, so dangerous, brings it out to about the 45, and we'll see what the flag is.
So this is a big game for the Badgers this week as everything depends on this game for home field advantage in the playoffs, which will start next week. A win today will put them here next week, home field advantage, and if they lose, they'll travel to Eastern, which they lost to last week.
And that was a game that, a lot of people felt like Snow should have won. They had the lead early going into the fourth quarter. They were up 27-9 at one point in that game. What happened, Jeff?
Well, from what I understand, I didn't have an opportunity to really look deep into the game, but a bunch of missed field goals by the Badgers, along with them kind of just making some costly mistakes and not scoring. And then, of course, Eastern blocking the punt and being able to score the touchdown.
Cantwell swings it out wide here on the first offensive play of the game. The flag, by the way, was holding on Snow College. That brings them back to about the 20. The pass goes for about maybe a yard, and it'll bring up 2nd and 9 for Snow College. And, Jeff, coming into this game, there's a couple of high-powered offenses. What do you think the keys to the game are going to be for Snow to come out on top and capture that conference championship?
For Snow College this game, it's definitely got to be finishing the game, playing strong all 4 quarters. Because as we saw here 2 weeks ago when they picked up the win, it just seemed like they were kind of strong in the second half, but very weak in the first half. And then last week, very strong in the first half and second in the week. So it's kind of like switching back and forth. So first key to the game is that Snow College plays consistent for all 4 quarters. That's the huge thing for them. If they can do that, they pick up a win here, and they're here next week and easily can take first and hopefully help their rankings. As we've talked, they dropped from 2nd place all the way to 8th with that loss, and also Eastern has now jumped into the rankings up in the top 20.
There's an injured Badger there on the floor. Not quite sure who that is. But he's being attended to by the Snow Badger medical staff.
Yeah, it looks like he just got hit hard there off the catch. It was number 84, Campbell. And
Campbell's up. Looks like he's walking off on his own power.
A little slight jog. I guess that'll help Coach Connors draw something up for the offense, as that play went for nothing just on that little swing route. But Cantwell, he likes to warm up. He doesn't have a lot of success just going deep quick. So those swing routes are great for quarterbacks to start the game. They get their, it's always great to see that first catch because you just feel a lot better when that happens. You can finally get your rhythm going.
And it'll be 2nd and about 9 from the Badger 15. Cantwell in the shotgun. Puts a man in motion. He'll take the snap, fake the handoff. And he's going to throw a nice little out route, and looks like that was to number 13, Khalif Salman. Pickup of about 4. It'll bring down 3rd and about 5 or 6. And a big 3rd down right off the bat here for the Badger offense.
Yeah, right there on that play, it was designed from the start. I think Cantwell really read the zone there well, and Salmon just kind of sat there in that pocket in the opening. They picked up enough yardage to now make it 3rd down and 5. So you'd much rather see the 3rd down in medium, 3rd down and 5 than the 3rd down.
And we talked about that a couple times a couple weeks ago when they were playing New Mexico. The importance of getting into 3rd down and manageable instead of 3rd and long. As Campbell takes the snap out of the shotgun, looks pressure coming. He's hit as he throws, and it's caught. And it looks like that's going to be enough for a 1st down. A gain of about 10. That one goes to number 9, Dalton Fackrell, his big 6'4" tight end. And Fackrell, another guy that Cantwell really relies on in this offense.
Right, and Cantwell and Fackrell had a great game last week. They were able to hook up multiple times, and Fackrell was able to get 2 touchdowns last week in their loss, but he's a huge target. When we were here 2 weeks ago, Cantwell kept targeting him, and he dropped 2 passes that were big, but, that's like that confidence that you have with that slot kind of tight end kind of receiver.
And the handoff goes up the middle for a gain of about 1.5. It'll bring down 2nd and 9. And Cantwell coming off the field. And here's 2nd down and 9. And it looks like the Badgers are going in some sort of wildcat formation. They got a couple of running backs back there. And they'll take the snap and fake the end around. He's got a hole up the middle. Gain of about 5. A nice gain there on 2nd down. It'll bring up 3rd and about 2, a long 2 there. And it looked like that was the wide receiver Riley Richmond who took the direct snap and faked the end around to Steven Shepard and then went up the middle for a nice gain there.
Yeah, the Badgers are now moving the ball and in another 3rd and short situation, and you really like to see that. You know, you're having that balanced offensive attack where you're going to the run, you're going to the pass, and you've got to really keep the defenses guessing so that, you know, they're not starting to key on you, as the Badgers seem to sometimes get one-sided to the pass, and then in all reality, you got problems.
And a handoff will go to the right side. It looks like that is actually the sophomore Moores, who doesn't get a lot of playing time, getting a run here early, and he's going to pick up about 4, enough for the 1st down. And again, so important for this Badger offense to keep the ball moving, because Pima leads the conference in rushing yards per game, and that can really wear out a defense quickly. So I think it's very important for Snow to continue to have these long, sustainable drives, and make sure, you know, the best way to beat this Pima high-powered offense is to keep them off the field.
Exactly, and in all reality, as that's out and away, it looked like the Badgers unable to get any yardage on that one. But I agree with you 100%, Chase. With Moores and, of course, Labrador and also Steven Shepard, those 3 running backs share the carries. And I would really love to see more of Steven Shepard. He's a sophomore. He's a great player. And I feel like he's made his presence known in the 2 years that he's been here. And he's in right now, but I just feel like they give so many looks that they keep those running backs fresh.
He is their leading rusher, averages over 4 yards per carry. As Cantwell is on the keeper, he's going to dive forward under pressure quickly. Dives forward for about a gain of 3. That'll bring up 3rd and about 8. And another big 3rd down coming up for this Badger offense. And it seems, you know, no big plays. They haven't quite taken a shot, and I know that you talked to one of the coaches who said that's something that they're looking for, is maybe a few more big plays. Haven't quite seen them take a shot just yet.
Right, and I don't expect them to right now. This game's a big game, and in all reality, football, when it comes down to it, who's going to win the battle in big plays? Usually it comes down to about 5 big plays, and whichever team wins most of those big plays, that's usually who wins the game, and it usually always comes down to that. So it'll be interesting to see if Snow College decides to take a shot downfield here. But I feel like the pressure's been on Cantwell so much this afternoon that he's not having a lot of time to throw the ball deep as they come up short there.
And Cantwell slings the ball to the far side of the field, incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th down, and they're bringing on the punting unit.
So coming into this game, Pima is ranked 3rd, of course, after Eastern Arizona and Snow College at 5-2. And so in all reality, it's come down to the last few games. The conference is really starting to square up to be looking really well. And in all reality, you'd hope to see that at every level as, you know, they come in like that.
And Panazzolo with the punt. He kicks it out of bounds. So it'll be Pima ball, and it looks like the ref is going to spot it at about the 20. Still going. About the 30-yard line, actually. So not a great punt there from Panazzolo, a guy who normally is pretty accurate. But it looked like he might have shanked that one out of bounds. And Pima and their high-powered offense, led by their star running back, Townsend, is going to have the ball in decent field position to start this drive.
It'll be interesting to see what Coach Britt Mon has drawn up for the defense this week. Because I feel like the Badgers have always been very successful at stopping the run, and it's been the pass coverage that they've really struggled at. So it'll be interesting to see if he's going to put more up in the box or if he's going to sag him off a little bit and see what he does with his linebacking core.
Quarterback Hinojosa back in the shotgun. He'll take it. A little pitch play, and that's going to Townsend. And he's going to pick up a nice gain of about 11, enough for a 1st down, it looks like, depending on the spot. Yeah, and they'll give them the first down. They're going to move the chains. And, again, they are so dangerous in this run game. As I mentioned, they lead the conference in rush yards per game, and it's all on the back of number 21 right there, Deontay Townsend.
Yeah, and as you saw right there, he gets the edge, so he's just outside the tackle. The offensive line makes a great block. And then for the Badgers, Mania Piercy wasn't able to get off the block, and he's not going to let any arm tackles slow him down. He's got to keep running, and he runs full speed.
And they'll pitch it to Townsend again, who gets the edge for about 4 or 5, and that'll bring up a second down and about 6. Now, what's the key for this Snow Badger defense in order to have success against this high-powered Pima attack? Again, Pima leads the conference as well in points per game, averaging over 44 points per game. What's going to be the key for them to stop it, as it looks like Townsend's going to take it up the middle for another gain of about 3?
I think it comes down to tackling, and as you've seen here this already, as Townsend's picked up a first down, and now he's 3rd down and 1. So it's tackling. Are you going to get off your blocks and make tackles? You know, keeping your hips down, tackling through the ball, putting your helmet on the ball, or are you going to try to arm tackle? Because as you've seen, there's going to be missed tackles. He makes people miss. He makes the first person miss. So you've got to do that. You've got to have 4 or 5.
And a big stop there for Snow as they give the ball to Townsend right up the middle, and he is stuffed for a loss of about 1. And that'll bring up 4th down. And it looks like Pima's actually going to send out the punting unit as well at about the 49-yard line. So a big stop there for Snow's defense on the 3rd down and short.
Exactly. You got to do that gang tackling. If you expect to win, if you expect to play well against this Pima team, it's full tackling, everyone rallying to the ball, no one giving up. Because a lot of times as players, if you see one of your teammates going to make a tackle, sometimes it's like you let up a little bit because you think that they're going to make a tackle. So you got to keep rallying at all times.
Parker Preeter deep to receive the punt from Giovan Nusser. It's a high arcing punt. Preeter's going to call for the fair catch and make it at about the 17-yard line, where Snow will take over.
Go ahead.
We're going to take a quick break as Snow's offense and Stephen Cantwell will take the field one more time. Welcome back to Badger Stadium, as it looks like Stephen Shepard's going to take the ball up the middle for a gain of about 1. And so far, not a whole lot of running room there for this Badger offense.
Yeah, and it's due to huge defensive pressure right there. Isaiah Stroder, he's a redshirt sophomore, D-line, 6'3", 315 pounds.
That's a big guy. That's a big dude.
You put that kind of size in the middle, it reminds me a lot of like the old New England Patriots with Vince Wilfork. You just put a huge guy that can block the A gap and the B gap on both sides. You know, he's going to take up 2 blockers to get him moved. So in all reality, you know, that's one big presence that Pima has that you want to see.
And it'll bring up 2nd and about 9 from the 18-yard line. Cantwell with Shepard in his bag. It looks like it's going to be a timeout, and Snow's going to take their first timeout. Cantwell didn't quite look like he was really set there. Looked like there might have been some confusion, and to avoid any sort of mistakes, looks like they're going to go ahead and take a timeout.
Right, and the play clock was running down. Before the O-line was even set, there was about 5 seconds on the play clock. So in all reality, that's why they go ahead and take that timeout.
Well, we're going to take a break with the Badgers, and when we come back, Badgers will be facing about a 2nd down and 8 here at Badger Stadium in Ephraim, Utah. Thanks for joining us.
Good, thanks.
And welcome back to Badger Stadium. Again, the Badgers facing a 2nd down and about 8. 7:52 left in the first quarter. No score. Bubbles the snap. He gets it off just barely. It looks like that's Shepard up the middle. And a gain of about 4. Again, tough running here for Shepard. It looks like he has no breathing room there up the middle.
Yeah, and so number 51 for the Badgers, the linebacker, Aaron Boatwright, he comes up and fills that gap. And, you know, if that would have had better timing, I think we would have been they would have been okay to make some time, but because Cantwell was up in the air trying to get that and then put it down, he had a lot of time.
Kind of a high snap. Cantwell did well to kind of corral it and get it into Shepard's hand before the play kind of blew up on him. And another third down and about 5 coming up for Snow. And the offense just so far has not looked fantastic, a little out of sorts right now.
Yeah, and they haven't found their rhythm, and I think they need to try a deep pass or something. They've been very, very conservative against this Pima team.
The end around to Trineman, their wide receiver star, is stopped for about a loss of 2, so it'll bring out 4th and about 7, and again, nothing doing. And interesting that they would try the end around there on a 4th and semi-long, but I guess if you got a guy who's as speedy and as shifty as Trineman, why not? But it's blown up by this Pima defense, and another punt coming on for Panazzolo.
It's interesting, after the Snow College loss last week, it seems like Snow College is not attacking as much as they have in the past. It doesn't seem like, Snow College's offense has never been that, huge power offense, but it's been an attacking offense, and now the punt was pressured and close, and not a very good punt there.
And another short punt. It's going to take a Pima bounce and finally touch down there at about the 48. So Pima's going to take the ball over in Snow territory with another fairly poor punt. Again, a lot of pressure. We saw this last week where Snow actually had 2 punts blocked, which ended up really costing them the game. They were up in the 4th quarter, had 2 punts blocked that led to 2 Eastern Arizona touchdowns. And again, we see some more issues from the special teams. Panazzolo's being rushed. He gets it off as quickly as he can, and another short punt. And actually looks like they're going to give him the ball down at the Snow 44-yard line. So great field position here for Hossa and Townsend.
And basically Pima is starting where they left off, so it'll be interesting to see what they do. Well, the whole offense jumped off.
The entire right side of the offense, including the receivers, just snapping offsides there. It'll be a false start as we wait for the call from the official.
I think the only people that didn't jump was like the center and the quarterback, so it's kind of interesting to see there.
Well, and it's interesting because as a wide receiver, you really have no excuse to ever jump offside because you're watching the ball. You're not actually listening for the snap count. So, again, a couple of the Pima receivers went early on that one, and that'll bring him back 5 yards.
Kind of lucky there for Snow College, as it would have been, the penalties have kind of been an issue for Snow College, as they've only have 1 in this game so far, but it'll be interesting to see the penalty battle as Pima gets their first.
Hossa with the snap, he steps up, and he's quick, he's going to run, he's got lots of space. Picking up a block downfield, and he is still on his feet, finally out of bounds at about the 25-yard line, about a 25-yard run and scramble there from Antonio Hinojosa, and that dude is shifty, and if he sees an opening, he's going to take it, and he'll make you pay.
The problem is when you're blitzing or when you're your defensive line, the defense needs to stay in their gaps and in their lanes. We all know that. You got to get up your lane and you got to stay there. You can't over-pursue, because if you over-pursue, especially with Pinoza, you're going to get beat.
Running down to about 6 minutes left here in the first quarter. Looks like a little miscommunication there on the snap, and Hinojosa is going to take it up and make something out of nothing. Actually picks up 6 yards. It looked like he was looking for Townsend to come with him on the left, and Townsend went right, and Hinojosa did what he could and picked up 6 on what appeared to be a broken play.
I'm not a referee, but it was interesting to see John Penasini as he was trying to get off his tackle. It looked like he got held pretty hard on that play, but no call. So the Badgers really, it's interesting to see that they're not creating any stops on defense.
And the handoff this time goes to number 1, who's Landry Payne, who's actually listed on the depth chart as a free safety, but he's a shifty man as well, and he picks up enough for the first down. And we got another Badger down, and this is the second time we've seen a defensive lineman, and it looks like that one's going to be Manaya Perese, and he's down on the ground, and the medical staff is out attending to him as well now.
As the medical staff attends him, we'll go ahead and take a break here on Snow TV.
Welcome back to Badger Stadium as Pima has the ball at about the 14-yard line, 13-yard line, 1st and 10. And they're moving the ball effectively right now, Jeff.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what Snow College can do to stop them.
And he's going to take a shot. It's a beautiful-looking pass, just barely overthrows him. Looks like that pass was intended for number 21, Timmy Hernandez, and that is by far Hinojosa's favorite target. And Ben Bergeson there on the coverage. He was locked tight with him. It looked like a pretty good throw, just a touch overthrown, but Timmy Hernandez has caught more than 50% of Hinojosa's completions this year. So if he's throwing the ball, he's looking one way.
Yeah, and it's interesting to, as you get at
and a short kick there from Nathan Farmer. Returned by Trineman, but excellent coverage there by the Pima special teams as he only returns it out to about the 10.5-yard line. And again, this Snow College offense is going to face a long field. And so far on their first 2 possessions, haven't really been able to produce much of anything.
It seems for the average start position for Pima compared to Snow College is surmountable. Like the last drive, Pima started about the 45, the drive before about their own 40, and it seems like the Badgers are always starting 20 and in.
And a quick pass from Cantwell. Looks like that was out to Khalif Salmon. His second catch of the day. This one only goes for about 3, and that'll bring up 2nd and 7. The tackle that time made there by Darryl Clark, who again with good coverage, and Cantwell's just trying to take the underneath, take what the defense will get him, but you think at one point you got to take a shot. It seems like Pima knows that they just need to key in here on these short routes, and they're defending it effectively.
Right, and I think at some point they are going to take that deep shot like they're doing right now.
And a deep shot, and Trineman's there, and he's got it! Trineman with the catch, and he is going to walk untouched into the end zone. A beautifully thrown ball from Cantwell, and that's going to be about an 88-yard touchdown from Cantwell to Jonathan Trineman. And this guy can play. He's committed to BYU for next year and just completely outran the coverage. A beautifully thrown ball there from Cantwell, and that's going to go for an 88-yard touchdown. The big play that we were just talking about that they needed.
And it all started with the coaching. Coach Connors, the offensive coordinator, noticed that those safeties were starting to suck up because of so many under routes. The crossing routes and everything, swing routes, everything was tight. So what happened is the safety didn't have enough time to get over the top and help the corner. So in all reality, Cantwell to get the pass right on the money.
And the extra point is up and good for Moose Bingham. And just like that, they answer very quickly on a 2nd down and 8. They find Jonathan Trineman, the wide receiver, for an 88-yard touchdown, and they go up 7-3 with 3:32 left in the first quarter. We might be in for a shootout.
In all reality, it seems like that's the way Snow College likes to play. Let's just see who can score the most amount of points. And in all reality, that's what's going to happen. You loosen up the defense, you take the shot down the field. And so I feel right now Snow College is getting outplayed. But like I mentioned earlier, there's 5 plays where the Badgers, of course, are going to have to win those plays, or Pima, and there's one of them the Badgers tallied up.
We'll see if maybe that can loosen Cantwell up a little bit, as he struggled in the second half last week against Eastern Arizona. Struggled a little bit on the first couple of drives here, and maybe a big bomb like that to his main man Trineman will maybe get him a little loosened up, get the confidence a little bit higher, and can maybe really open up this offense.
It'll be interesting to see how Pima now reacts as they are down 7-3 with 3 minutes left in the first quarter. This quarter's kind of been really long and extended due to the fact that Snow College just continues to pass and not a whole lot of run.
And Moose Bingham with the short kick, it's going to roll, and he's going to pick it up off the bounce. Slides down at about the 23-yard line. And it looks like that was Landry Payne there on the return, and he slides down. He's still on the ground. It looks like he might have kind of fallen awkwardly there as he was trying to make a cut. He's still on the ground right around the 23-yard line. And this is the 3rd time we've seen a player laying there on the turf today. What's going on?
It's interesting because, usually you might get those kind of injuries when it's cold. You get a helmet to the leg or any injury that usually happens when it's cold. But in all reality, the day's nice. You might get a little bit of wind coming through, but sun's shining. I know you can feel the sun beating right on you right now, Chase, and getting the sunburn. Yet, in all reality, it's a great great, great October afternoon to be playing football.
He's being attended to now by the Pima medical staff. Still on the ground. It looks like they're attending to his right leg. And again, it looked like as he was bringing out the kick, you could tell he kind of looked like he tried to make a cut and fell really awkwardly as if he might have tweaked something, and he is still yet to get up as more trainers come to his side. And you just hope for the best for a guy like Landry Payne, a guy that this team really, really depends on. He's listed at the free safety. He does kick returns. He'll be in on passing plays. He's carried the ball a few times for this team. He's kind of a do-it-all player, and so again, this would be a huge loss for this Pima team.
The good news is he's able to walk off the field kind of not really under his own power as the trainers are there helping him on each side.
And that'll bring out the Pima offense.
This is the deepest start for Pima as they're starting about the 22-yard line. And they're going to have to drive the field. But it'll be interesting to see what the Snow College defense does as they held Pima to only a field goal last time. They were playing kind of more bend but don't break at the end.
And Hinojosa back in the shotgun with Townsend off to his left. He'll take the snap, and he's going to give it to Townsend, who's got a hole. Runs up the middle for about 5. Bring down second and maybe a long 5 there. And that's what this Pima offense does. Snap, hand the ball off to Townsend. Snap, give it to Townsend.
Yeah, and in all reality, I think Hinojosa is trying to read what the Badgers are doing, kind of run that zone read, and they're still having success. If you're picking up 3 to 4 yards of play, that's successful. You're gonna have success.
And Hinojosa will take the shotgun snap again under pressure. He's going to lob it up. He's got a man tight coverage, and it's going to be just slightly overthrown. And again, fantastic coverage there.
The problem is there's going to be a roughing the passer. Reason being, if you're coming in hot, and it was on number 92 of the Badgers, Tea Santuala, as soon as that ball leaves your hands, you got to pull up. But he ran straight through Hinojosa, and Hinojosa's coming up slow. Now, that's huge penalty right there. Instead of having third down and 7, now you have first down and 10 and picking up 15 yards. So stupid penalty there.
Another mental mistake, and we saw that almost cost them the game a couple weeks ago against New Mexico. A lot of little penalties, little mistakes that allowed New Mexico to climb back in the game, end up taking the lead, and it took really a miracle from Stephen Cantwell to bring them back and win that game. And so, again, the mental mistakes seem to keep coming up for this Snow College team, and we'll see if Pima and Hinojosa can take advantage. And Hinojosa dancing, scrambling, buys himself some time, throws it over the top, and the catch is incomplete. And another flag down in the backfield, and this one in the area of holding.
Yeah, this one's now going to be on number 75, Nachel Curtis. In all reality, it was the Snow College defensive line, I think, really beat every single one of the offensive linemen right there. And sometimes when you're that offensive line, you kind of got to decide, do I let my quarterback get hit, or do I maybe not get caught for holding? And so sometimes you take the risk and you make a play to hold, and it comes back to bite you.
And so after a penalty, it'll bring up 1st and 20 now at the 30-yard line. Hinojosa back, takes the snap, fakes it to Townsend. Back to pass, pressure again, and he's going to scramble. Throwing, and it's caught by number 11. Ooh, a nice move there, and he's going to, takes a big hit low. Looked like the ball might have come out there again. He falls back on it. And again, that's number 11, Jeff Cotton, the freshman wide receiver. He's a big body, 6'2", 205, and Jance Arbin there on the tackle and the coverage. And nicely done again by Hinojosa. He feels the pressure. He buys himself some time, throws the check down, and allows his man to go and make a play. And again, a play that could have ended in a sack and bringing up 2nd and 25 now becomes 2nd and about 5 because of the craftiness there of Hinojosa.
So Hinojosa right there picks up 15 yards on a kind of a makeshift play. And if you're the Snowball College Badger D-line, you kind of got to adjust to decide, what am I going to do? Everybody's got to do their job, stay in their lanes, and that's really what happened on that play is they had to stay in their lanes to make a play.
And it looks like the offense jumped quickly again. That's going to be their 2nd false start. Again, about 1:38 left in the first quarter. Snow 7-3 on an 88-yard bomb from Cantwell to Jonathan Trineman, the future BYU the future BYU man. And the false start will move the ball back, and it'll bring up second down and about 11.
Yeah, and I feel like this game's kind of switched after that huge play by the Badgers. It's kind of caught Pima off guard because they were really dominating the whole first part of the first quarter. And as soon as Snow College kind of made that deep pass, like they found that momentum shift, and now the defense is starting to play a lot better. Yeah, Pima's moved the ball from about the 22-yard line up, but in all reality, the Snow College team, I think they're finally starting to find their groove.
And with the play clock running down and Pima not set, they're going to have to go ahead and take a timeout. They'll take their first time out of the half, and we're going to go ahead and take a timeout with them. We'll be right back. Snow TV.
I just feel like it needs.
Welcome back to Badger Stadium as Pima and Antonio Hinojosa face a second and 11 from the 39 after the 5-yard false start penalty. He's going to take the snap out of the shotgun, back to pass. Little out pass, and that's caught by number 16, Tristan Foley, sophomore wide receiver, and he's going to take it to about the Pima 43, and that'll bring up third down and about 6 with under a minute left here in the first quarter.
And Jance Arbon was there to make the tackle. Looks like he got beat. He was kind of playing the zone, but catch, and if someone catches the ball, you don't let them gain any yards, and that's exactly what Arbon did. He was able to get there and make a play.
That'll bring up third down and about 6. Hinojosa with the snap, back to pass, he's throwing, and he hits him, and that'll be enough for a first down all the way down to the Snow 48, it looks like. And that again to Timmy Hernandez, who just had his 40th reception of the year. And again, he's the guy they always go to. Ben Bergeson there on the coverage. Ben's been pretty good so far today, but that time gets beat on the little slant route. It's enough to pick up a first down. And Hinojosa back as they hurry to the line. He's going to give to Townsend. Spins around a defender, goes up and picks up about 2. And again, he is so good. That's a play that most running back gets stopped for about a loss of 2. Instead, he spins and gets a gain of 3. Tackle made there by Inoke Tuai.
Yeah, Inoke Tuai was there in the backfield and missed the tackle. With 12 seconds left in the quarter, it looks like it's going to run out. They might get a play in. I don't think they're aware of how much time's left.
Looks like they're content just to let this one run out as 3, 2, and 1. That'll take us to the end of the first quarter. Again, Snow College on an 88-yard bomb from Cantwell to Trinnaman. Take a 7-3 lead going into the second quarter. We're going to take a quick break. Thank you so much for joining us here on Snow TV. Welcome back to Snow TV. Alongside Jeff Brinton, I'm Chase Metcalf. It'll be second down and about 8 for Pima as Hinojosa takes the snap back to pass out of the shotgun. He scrambles to his right, throws an incomplete. And great coverage there by number 26, Tyler Dudley.
I think it was number 36 because Dudley's the kicker.
You're right. Dax Eisinger actually there on the coverage. Thanks for correcting me there, Jeff.
No, you're fine. I just heard Dudley, and it was funny because I actually lived in the same apartment complex as Dudley last year, so I was like, Dudley playing defense? I just,
And Jeff's up here name dropping. He used to live in the same apartment complex as some of the Snow Stars.
Yeah, if it makes you feel any better, I was in the same Spanish class last year as Jance Arbon, and we lived in the same apartment, so
Well, there you go. If you want to meet any of the players, you know who to look up first. As Hinojosa back to pass, and he's going to scramble. Ooh, a nice cut up field, and he's going to have, he's still going past the 30, and he'll go out of bounds at about the 27. It looked like he was going to be stopped for about a gain of 4, which would have brought him up 4th down. Had a nifty cut to the right, and he gets to the corner, and he'll pick up another 1st down.
It's funny, I was going to mention on that last play how well Snow College D-line did of keeping Hinojosa in his lanes and pushing him out, but 10 yards deep, so he had to throw a pass which was contended by the defense. But this time, Snow College didn't stay in their lanes, and then, of course, the QB spy there just got beat, and it's because Hinojosa's got a great cut on him. So, in all reality, you got to watch out for that. You can't be letting that happen.
And after the 1st down, they have the ball, and it's going to be a handoff. Running to the outside, it looks like that's number 23. Landon Floyd, the freshman running back, and he takes it up for about a gain of 6, bringing down 2nd and 4 from the 21. About 14 minutes left here in this second quarter. If you're just joining us, thanks so much for dialing in. Again, Snow College up 7-3 after an 88-yard touchdown from Stephen Cantwell to Jonathan Trineman. And it'll be 2nd down and 4 from the 21 as Hinojosa has Townsend off to his right. Nope. And he's going to hand the ball off and stuffed. And he's still going, and a beautifully drawn play there by this Snow College defense. The handoff was actually to number 24, Ryan Bialiu, and the stop made there by number 32, Tui Tafa.
And yeah, like you were mentioning, Chase, Snow's up 7-3. Now, I don't feel like that score demonstrates the game right now. I feel like Pima Community College has been in total control of the game and just wasn't able to capitalize on a red zone opportunity due to a penalty or two. And then for the Badgers, I just feel like they made one good play, one good deep play.
Yeah, it was the deep play. They finally got them going, and other than that, we haven't seen a ton from this Snow College offense, but they still lead at 7-3 as they're actually going to take a timeout on defense as they discuss what they want to do on this 3rd down and 9 from the 26. We're going to take a quick break, and thanks again for joining us here on Snow TV. Welcome back to Badger Stadium here on Snow TV as the Pima Aztecs face a 3rd down and about 9 from the 26. And Hinojosa out of the shotgun with Townsend off to his left. He's going to take the snap. And he's going to throw. He's got a man, and that one's caught by number 5, Wesley Payne. Number 6, actually. Eric Diedrich. This is redshirt sophomore tight end, and it looks like that's going to be enough to move the chains yet again. And that's the 3rd down conversion they've had on this drive, and now the first one that's been 3rd and long.
Right, and it's due to the fact that Hinojosa is able to make plays. Right there, he tried to hard count, and in all reality, the Snow didn't jump, but then he runs that option play like right there, and he's finding ways to have his offense have success.
And he finally takes the ball out of bounds at about the 7-yard line, a pickup of about 7. And again, another good read from Hinojosa, who's just had an incredible game so far. He's running that read option. The defense collapses on the running back, and so he's just going to take it to the outside, and he is content getting his 7-8 yards. And Hinojosa back in the shotgun. He takes the snap, and this time he's going to give the ball off to the running back, which again looks like that's going to be number 25, Sergio Hoffman.
So it'll be interesting what the flag is as it comes in late at the end of the play.
This one down in the, looks like the secondary, right around actually where Hoffman was tackled. And they're going to get Snow with the face mask.
That's just a tough penalty for Snow College because now sitting on the 3-yard line, first down and goal for Pima, you got 3 opportunities to punch in a touchdown, and Snow really hasn't shown anything that they're going to slow down the Aztecs right now.
And it looks like Hoffman's still the man in the backfield. Interesting they don't have Townsend here, as he also leads the conference in rushing touchdowns. Usually he's their go-to guy here in the goal line as they give to Hoffman, and a beautiful play there by the Snow D-line as he is tackled for no gain. Tackle made there by number 92, Satuala.
Yeah, Satuala's, besides that one penalty, the roughing the passer, it seems like he's trying to make his presence known on that defensive line, as Satuala is a sophomore, 250 pounds, out of Bountiful, Utah, and just trying to help his defense.
Well, high snap there. Hinojosa does good just to get it down, and he's going to have to get hit, and he's, again, another no-gain play, kind of a broken play with the high snap. He really had no choice but to corral it and try and get to the outside, and again, met there by number 94 from Snow, which is going to be Handsome Tenielu. And again, Handsome has got to be my favorite first name in the world. Jeff, back in high school, I knew a girl who for some reason thought my name was Handsome. I never corrected her, but every time she would see me, she'd say, "Hello, Handsome." And again, I'm not quite sure why she thought that was it, but again, I think not only a standout player, but probably the best name on the team.
Yeah, he is a great defensive player. He plays that defensive tackle, and he's able to really cause havoc in the backfield.
And big third down, and he's going to give the ball off to Hoffman again, who goes up the middle, and he's going to be stopped short again. And it looks like he gets tackled after a gain of 1, maybe 2, down to the 2-yard line. And this will bring up an interesting situation as it's 4th down from about the 2, and it looks like they are going to send out the kicking team to try and make this a 7-6 game.
And again, Handsome right there was on the end of the play. He was making a kind of a leg tackle, and then the rest of his team joined, so he basically slowed him down. Because right there, when you're close to the goal line, them just turning over and falling into the end zone very easily. So it was good that Handsome went for the legs and got him out.
And so first down and goal from the 3. Pima runs 3 straight run plays, and the Snow D line answers with 3 straight stops. And Farmer with the chip shot field goal as he puts that up and through. And with 10:40 left in the second quarter, it's going to be 7-6. So Snow on top. We're going to take a quick break here on Snow TV. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Badger Stadium here on Snow TV alongside Jeff Britton. I'm Chase Metcalf. With 10:40 left in this first half, Snow leads at 7-6 after giving up a field goal, but an impressive hold by that Badger defense as Pima had the ball first and goal from the 3-yard line, and the kickoff by Farmer, it's going to be short, fielded there by Trineman, takes it across the 10, coming to the far side of the field, stiff arms a man, and he's going to cut upfield, leaping forward, and he's going to get to about the 27. Not a bad effort there from Trineman.
Yeah, because in all reality, if you run straight up the field, maybe it's 10 yards that he runs, but he ran across the whole field laterally. So the field laterally is about 50 yards. So if you think about that, he probably just ran 70 yards, and there is a yellow hanky on the
There's a flag coming back right where the kickoff was at, and it looks like they're going to call offside on the kicking team. And they're going to go ahead and just tack on that 5 yards to the end of the run. And again, another player down on the turf. Can't quite see who it is, but they're being attended to by the Snow medical staff, and it looks like they're laying down there at about the 27, which is where Trinnaman ended up being tackled.
We are closing the end of the season for Snow College, as this is, and for the junior college in itself. So in all reality, number 91 there, Tautua, or Tautu?
Teao Satuala, I believe is how you say that.
Okay. And so what happened was, I think that's kind of what's leading to this, is that you've got a bunch of players that, you know, when you go from high school to junior college, usually you see that there's a bigger step, bigger players, you know, it's a little bit tougher. And so in all reality, you're getting more beat up. Your bodies are banged up. You're in week 8 right now, and that's kind of where I'm looking towards the team, both teams with all these injuries coming up, is, you know, you just get fatigued.
And that's a big loss. Satuala, big presence there on the defensive line, and he's being helped to the trainer's table, and they're taking a look at that left ankle, it looks like. He's got his helmet off, and you can tell that he's in a little bit of pain. And Cantwell takes the snap, and it's a fumbled snap. Shepard's just going to dive on it and take the loss. And that's going to be a loss of about 7 or 8. And again, that's about the third bad snap we've seen so far today, or the third snap that Cantwell's really had to try and corral, and this time couldn't get it. Shepard does good just to jump on it.
Yeah, that's Christopher Lee is the center, and as he looked over to his offensive line coach, Coach Mon, not Britt Mon head coach, but brother of Britt Mon, as he looks over and he says, you know, you got to get that down, and I think that's the second or third time that's happened. But in all reality, that's why you love to have a sophomore running back in the backfield. Just smart awareness that if you turn the ball over here, huge momentum shift, just jump on the ball, take the 7-yard loss and deal with it.
Cantwell's going to throw this time, throwing in a beautiful strike there. And it looks like he's going to find one of his favorite targets, which is number 14, Alex Croyle. He's actually second on the team in receptions, just behind the standout Jonathan Trinnaman. And a big pass there, and that's going to bring him all the way down to about the 39. And it's going to be third down and a short 3.
Yeah, it was interesting. Timmy Hernandez on the defensive end, who's been making a presence on the offensive end, now on the defense, just Cantwell barely puts it over his outstretched arm, finding the hole in the zone, because Hernandez was really trying to read Cantwell on that play.
Hernandez, again, just such an outstanding player, plays both ways for this Pima team. So important. And Cantwell is going to fake the throw and go up the middle, and he's going to be stopped. It looks like maybe a half a yard short of that first down, a gain of 2. And this will bring up an interesting decision here for Coach Mon. It's going to be fourth down and maybe a yard at most.
If I'm Coach Mon right here, I definitely punt the ball. I don't want to lose momentum. And this is going to be interesting. Cantwell comes limping off the field, so this probably will add to the idea of going for it. So this is not a good situation for the Badgers. Seems like something's on the turf today with this many people going down.
Cantwell limping off the field, and there's an injured Aztec laying there on the field being attended to by the medical staff there. And it looks like that's actually number 90, Wesley Kauwaka, the sophomore defensive lineman from St. George, Utah. And it looks like he's down and not looking too great either.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if I'm 100% okay with that decision by Cantwell. I feel like Coach Connors drew up a short pass on the close end towards us, and he had a receiver blocking, and you had a wide open, completely wide open number 14, Alex Croyle, right here to make a first down play. But, you know, that's Cantwell's call. You know, maybe it was designed from the start to go straight run, and it kind of looked like that because he just stepped back and took off running, but we'll see how it goes. And
it looks like the offense is actually coming back on the field, but Cantwell's not among them. It looks like number 14, is that Croyle, that's out there about to take the direct snap, and he's got Shepard split out to his left.
I think it's number 24.
24, Riley Richmond, and this would be the second time we've seen this. And he takes the snap, high snap again, and he's going to give to Shepard, and Shepard gets stuffed. Oh, it's going to be close. And that really is going to depend on the spot. The referee coming out, and he has literally lined up exactly with that marker. This is going to come down to the spot.
I think they give it to him. That's a first down to me, it looks like. They're going to have to measure it because it's way too close to call.
Jim Monaco there on the Pima sideline is signaling that should be Pima ball, and the defense seems to agree, and it looks like this is going to come down to a measurement.
But now that I'm looking at it, and I don't know if we can get a closer shot on it, but it looks like the ball is behind the hash, so behind the hash of about the 42-yard line. and the chains were behind the hash. So it'll be interesting to see here what the call is, but I'm going to call it short.
And they're bringing out the chains to measure, and this is going to be close.
Oh,
and he's got it. He's got it by maybe one chain link. Wow, that was close. And just an absolutely outstanding effort from Shepard, who really looked like he was getting stuffed right at the line to keep those legs moving and push forward just enough. I mean, you cannot get closer than that.
And you can't. And it was the second effort, because the first time he got hit, he was maybe a half-yard short, but he pushes through and then gets tackled back a yard, but the forward progress did give him the spot.
And that'll bring up first down, and a big first down, and avoiding giving a high-powered Pima offense the ball in great field position in snow territory. And it looks like 24 is actually still out there in the game. And again, that's Riley Richmond, who's the wide receiver and backup quarterback. He's going to take the snap, and he's going to run up the middle, fighting for yards, keep those legs moving. He's going to pick up about 3, which will bring up 2nd and 7 from about the 45. And this would be huge if Cantwell is hurt to the point where he's not able to come back into the game.
Yeah, as we've got him on the bench, we've got a host of trainers looking at him. There's about 4 or 5 people. But it's interesting how the game changes, because Cantwell, yes, he can be a threat on the run in that style of offense, but I see Cantwell's more of a pocket presence quarterback, where he likes to step back in the pocket and make some throws. But in all reality, Riley Richmond's more of that roll out and throw down the field like that.
And Richmond rolls out to his right and throws behind his intended receiver. And it looked like he was looking for Croyle there on that one, and incomplete, thrown behind him, and that'll bring up 3rd down. And Cantwell leads the conference in passing yards per game. Richmond really just comes in when they're trying to run some sort of wildcat, give him the option to run, let him run the zone read. So this is going to completely change the dynamic of this Badger offense.
Yeah, so it looks like for Cantwell down on the sideline, they're retaping that ankle from scratch, and hopefully they can get it tight enough to where he can come back home and play the rest of this game.
We'll keep an eye on that as Richmond back to pass, escapes some pressure, and a flag comes out. And Richmond's got room to run, and he's got the sideline and finally forced out of bounds down at the 26, but I think this one's coming back.
And it was obvious. It was 100% obvious that was there. But what was awesome by the Pima player, he was noticing he was getting held, so he threw his arms up in the air, and he sold it even more. So the ref, he's got to call that.
Holding. Offense. Number 74.
And that one's going to be called on number 74.
Garrett Bowles.
Garrett Bowles, the offensive sophomore, 6'6", 300 pounds from Lehigh, Utah. And another big penalty, but again, you talked about it earlier. Do you let your quarterback take the hit and take the sack, or do you try and get away with a hold?
And if the ref doesn't catch that, in all reality, I believe it was the hold on number 48 for the Aztecs, which is Jalen Juan. If he doesn't throw his hands up, Garrett might not get caught. And then what does the play turn into? About a 20-yard, 30-yard gain.
And with 7 minutes left to go in this first half, it'll be 3rd and 19 from the 33 as Riley Richmond still standing back there. We're still looking at Stephen Cantwell is just sitting there on the bench as they continue to retape that right ankle.
And now a little bit of miscommunication with the officials and with the clock. So they thought, as the clock was winding down, they thought they were going to call a timeout, but it looked like what happened was they were supposed to raise the clock, but they never did. And so the teams take the field again, and they'll restart play.
And we'll restart it again with 6:57 left to go in this first half, 3rd down and 19 from the 33. If you're just joining us, Stephen Cantwell limped off the field after a play earlier in this drive, and Riley Richmond, the backup quarterback and wide receiver, in the shotgun right now. He's going to take the snap, fake the handoff, and they're going to throw just a little screen pass to Trinnaman. Oh, and Trinnaman's got some room to run, trying to get to the outside, breaks a tackle, and he's going to leap and finally pushed out of bounds. And he's maybe going to be a yard short as he gets a little bit past midfield. And what an effort from this is why this guy is going to BYU. This is why D1 teams looked at him and thought, we got to have this guy.
Yeah, and Trinman's a great player, but there is a line that you don't want to cross, and this play shows it 100%. Yeah, you want to get a first down, but at the same time, are you going to risk the fact of getting drilled and try jumping over everyone? And I love the effort, but at the same time, you have to be careful, or you're going to turn out like a lot of players. They get injured, and they can't do anything when you're injured.
Trinman, not a big dude. He's only 5'11", 186, but man, can he leap. And they're going to go for it here on fourth down. They give the ball to Shepard again, and it looks like he's going to have enough for the first down. Picks up about 4 when he needed 2. And that's going to be another first down and the second fourth down conversion on this drive for Snow.
Yeah, and the Badgers are rolling, so I understand that call. That if that screenplay on third down, like it was ran to perfection. That when you look at football, you think, what do I run on third down? You have like really 2 options or 3. You're going to be like, oh, I'll draw, I'll run a drop the middle, and then we'll punt. 2, I'll run a screenplay or I'll throw it deep. And the screenplay was set up perfectly. You had the whole offensive line downfield about 5 to 10 yards. And when you have 5 guys that weigh 300 pounds or more downfield blocking the guys that are 150 or 180, you're going to run into
You like
trouble.
those odds. You like those chances.
Odds.
And another fumbled snap there by Richmond, but he finally gets it. That's going to be number 20. He's still carrying, guys. Oh, he's breaking free. It takes a gang of 5 Aztecs to finally tackle him. And that time, that looked like that was number 25, Jade Luker, who's listed at DB as the freshman. And again, when you're facing some injuries, you'll give it to just about anyone. And a huge run there and powerful. It looked like he was going to be stopped for a gain of about 5. Ends up running for about 21.
It's interesting. The Badgers, they have Labrador. They also have Shepard, and then they've also ran Moores. And now they put in a defensive back of Luker, and he picks up the yards. And
they're going to give it to him again, and this time he is stuffed for a gain of about 1.
And Pima's they're smart. The Aztecs aren't going to be like, I'm going to let you do the same thing to me twice, and they go for his legs, and they take out his legs, and good defense there.
It's impressive that Snow has had the success they've had on this drive running the football, because with Richmond in the game, I mean, he's, again, listed as a wide receiver as well as the backup quarterback. He's only thrown 8 passes coming into this game all year. And so Pima is kind of sitting there thinking, all right, we can stack the box, and if Richmond's going to somehow beat us with his arm, then so be it. But we're going to take our chances thinking that they're just going to hand the ball off. But Snow's still having some success. And Richmond's going to flush out right, under pressure, throwing the ball, and that's high, tipped and incomplete, intended there for Jonathan Trinman again, and it looked like the coverage there by Landry Payne. And he was the guy that we saw was laying on the field after that kickoff return, and so it's good to see him back out there, another important player. But good coverage there. The pass thrown a little bit behind Trinman, and again, that's where Pima can sit back and say, you know what, we're going to let Richmond throw. We're going to stack the back and stack the box, and we'll try and let you let you beat us with the run.
Yeah, exactly. And Riley Richmond hasn't had a lot of time to develop the coordination and the communication with his receivers. So it's going to take a few plays. If Cantwell, like he is right now, continues on the bench getting taped, like that's going to continue to happen.
And it looks like Pima is going to take a timeout as they have face a 3rd and 10 from this Snow Badger offense from the 22. We're going to take a break with them. And we're back here on Snow TV as it's 3rd and 10 for Snow from the 22-yard line. Richmond takes the pass. He's going to lob one up, And, just barely overthrows his intended receiver, number 88, DeAndre Vines. A big target for him, throwing that fade to the end zone and just slightly overthrown, and that'll bring up 4th and 10 for the Badger offense.
Out of a timeout, perfectly decided to run that play. You know, you've got the kind of the height, but not really, but you've kind of got that mismatch. But Riley Richmond, you know, it's going to take time to develop passes like that. You got to be right on the money, because if you throw it too short, it's going to get picked. If you throw it out that outside shoulder, you can't go too because you got the pylon there. So it's kind of like that in between that you've got to make happen. And interesting enough that the Badgers aren't going to kick a long field goal here. They're going to go for it.
They're going to go for it here on 4th down and 10. Richmond out of the shotgun is going to take it under pressure, throws, and a strike! The ball is caught there by number 9. That's Fackrell. And a huge catch on 4th down and 10 goes for about 17, and that'll bring up 1st and goal from about the 6-yard line. And Richmond showing some poise there under pressure, hit as he throws and completes the strike to number 9, Fackrell.
Yeah, I think right now if the Badgers aren't going to get stopped on 4th down, if Pima's not going to do anything, you might as well just keep going for it.
That's the 3rd 4th down they've completed on this drive alone. Definitely the longest, the 4th and 10, and absolutely outstanding. And it looks like we got a penalty coming in here, and it looks like this is going to be on the Pima defense. We'll see what it is. An illegal substitution. Yeah. Okay. And so a penalty will move them about 3 yards closer, and that'll be 1st down from the 3-yard line with 4:23 left in this first half as Snow looks to go up as they lead right now 7-6.
Yeah, and it's been a great drive here by Snow College. They've been put together a lot of different plays.
Richmond throws the screen out to Trineman, trying to get to the outside, fights off an arm tackle. And a flag comes in late as Trineman walks into the end zone for a touchdown. A late flag comes in, and I think this one's coming back.
Yeah, interesting the decision there by Trineman to get to the outside. When he caught it, I felt like the defense was about 5 yards off of him. If he would have just got upfield, I feel like, you know, you don't have that problem of having to hold the block longer and get the penalty.
And that one's going to be on number 88, DeAndre Vines, the holding penalty, and a big holding call as Trineman made an excellent effort. When he got to the outside, he fought off a tackler, broke it, and walked into the end zone, but apparently assisted by the hold of DeAndre Vines. A big holding penalty that, again, that's the 3rd holding penalty we've seen that's negated a big Snow College play.
Right, and it's interesting because, you know, you have, even if you don't hold, if you don't get in, you have 2nd down and short, 2nd down to get in the end zone. And now, like, you're back to a situation 1st down and 13. So it's very tough for the Badgers there, as it looks like Cantwell has gotten up from the bench and he's getting close to the sideline, like
standing over there on the sideline watching, and that's good to see him up and walking around, and still with his helmet off. Doesn't look like he's going to be going back in on this drive, but again, good to see him off the trainer's table walking around. It looks like he's doing okay. And again, because of the penalty, that'll move him back to the 13. It'll be 1st down and goal, 4:05 left to play in the half, with the Badgers up 7-6.
I love Cantwell, and I really have enjoyed his play, but personally, I feel like in this situation, you might want to just keep Riley Richmond in, because look what he's done for the Badgers.
And the handoff goes wide to number 30, which is Moores once again. He gets his 2nd carry, and a late flag comes in again. And this one, you know, well after the whistle was blown dead, so this one's going to be what I imagine would be a personal foul penalty, as it was getting a little chippy in there. We'll see what the ref decides to do and call here.
I didn't see what happened, but Garrett Bowles came out of the pile like running away, so I wonder if it was on him or if he was in the mix of what happened.
And we'll get the call here from the referee as they're still discussing what it is, but they're moving the ball down. It looks like this one's actually going to be on the defense as they're moving them down.
Yeah, so it'll be a half the distance to the goal, it looks like.
And that's going to be called unsportsmanlike conduct there on Wesley Payne, the sophomore linebacker for Pima. And it looks like that'll go ahead and bring up, and that's an automatic 1st down. So again, instead of 2nd and goal from the 10, a Pima penalty this time cost their defense, and that'll bring it all the way down to the 6, where Riley Richmond and co will have it 1st and goal.
Yeah, both teams are making costly mistakes, and kind of Snow College ending up on the long side of the stick there.
And the handoff once again goes to number 25. who again is Jade Luker, who's the freshman listed as defensive back, getting some reps at running back here today. He goes up the middle for maybe a gain of 2. That'll bring down 2nd and goal from about the 3.5-yard line.
Yeah, you like to see them continue to give that handoff, keep the offensive line running downhill, because you see that a lot with offensive linemen. If they're in the pass protect all game, they're stepping back and trying to keep the pocket, but run defense, you keep their offensive linemen aggressive.
Richmond's going to give the ball right back to Luker, and he gets swallowed in the backfield, and that's going to be a loss of a couple. And that'll bring down a big 3rd down, and that one actually goes all the way back to the 6, so he's going to lose about 3 yards there on that run. And again, Pima stacking the box, saying, all right, Riley, let's see you beat us with your arm, and if you're going to try and run it, we're going to meet you there at the line of scrimmage. And another back-to-back nice run stops by this Pima defensive line. And this brings up a big 3rd down and goal as they lead 7-6 with the clock ticking under 3 minutes here in the first quarter, or excuse me, the second quarter.
So just about to start off and kick off. Also, Eastern Arizona is taking on New Mexico Military. Will be interesting to see what Eastern does there, because if Eastern loses, then Snow College automatically gets the first place, but I don't believe New Mexico is going to lose. And then also today, Scottsdale's taking on Mesa and Phoenix taking on Glendale. So that's what we've got in the league as the Badgers go ahead and take a timeout. Big games
to keep an eye on, but we're going to go ahead and take a timeout with the Badgers. And when we come back, it'll be 3rd down and goal from the 6 here at Badger Stadium. Welcome back. Is Cantwell back in the game for this 3rd down, and actually he's going to get swallowed up and sacked down back at about the 8-yard line. So Cantwell, good to see him back in the game. Looks like he's got a brace and some new tape there on that leg, but nothing doing there for the sophomore as he gets sacked on his first play back in on this drive. So unfortunate that this will end in a field goal attempt, but good to see Cantwell back in there.
Right, exactly, and you kind of want to see Cantwell get back in and get in the groove of things. At the same time, you kind of wonder why didn't Richmond stay in the game as he drove the Badgers all the way into the red zone. You got to keep them in, and now Dudley back on to kick the field goal.
And Dudley, the chip shot field goal. And this one's good as well. And that'll go ahead and give the Badgers a 10-6 lead here with 1:39 left in this first half. And we're going to go ahead and take a break with them down there on the field. We'll be right back with you here on Snow TV. Welcome back to Badger Stadium here on Snow TV alongside Jeff Brinton. I'm Chase Metcalf as the Badgers set to kick off after driving the field, converting on 3 fourth downs on that drive, and they end up settling for a field goal to take a 10-6 lead. Dudley here to kick off, and the kick is deep and fielded, and Darrell Clark decides to go ahead and take a knee there.
And that's smart, as the Badgers were all closing in. There was 4 or 5 Badgers really close, and you'd much rather take it at the 25 than the 10.
And it looked like he hesitated. He thought about it for a second, kind of looked and saw where everyone was and thought better of it and decided to take a knee. And so with 1:39 left in this first half, with the Badgers leading 10-6, Pima's going to go ahead and take over. And Snow has really done a fantastic job in this half holding this Pima offense to minimal gains, a team that averages over 44 points a game, leads the conference in rushing. Snow's really done a fantastic job throughout this first half.
Yeah, and I feel like Pima has been stuttering and sputtering a little bit as soon as they get in the red zone. They haven't been able to capitalize on plays that they should easily. The score easily should be 14-14. Would be my call if both teams were producing like they should.
And Hinojosa is going to go ahead and give the ball off, and that's Townsend up the middle, and he is still running. A nice gain there of about 7. That'll bring down 2nd and 3. And still electing to run the ball as the clock ticks under 1:25 to go in this first half. And you'd think if you're Pima, you really want to hurry things up and give yourself a chance to get some points, any kind of points before the half. As Hinojosa again to Townsend up the middle, and he's got enough for the first down. He's going to be just short, a gain of about 2. That'll bring up 3rd down and about 1, a short 1 on the 34. And the clock's still rolling, and it's going to go under a minute.
Yeah, and Pima only has 1 timeout, so it's very, very interesting that they keep running the ball.
Hinojosa, this time the fake, and he goes for the end around, outrunning the defender, and he's still on his feet, breaking a tackle, still going all the way down to about the 49-yard line, and a nice-looking run there from Antonio Hinojosa, and it looked like Sione Vejikite had a chance to bring him down short of the line, but the speed of Hinojosa on display there.
Hinojosa holds the ball out really, I guess I would call it sloppy-like. He doesn't hold it in nice and tight. I think the Badgers need to start capitalizing on that.
And 40 seconds left. Hinojosa will take the pass and throws a slant. He's got some room to run. And still on his feet and finally taken down, and it looks like that's Hernandez yet again. Timmy Hernandez, his favorite target, as we mentioned, has caught more than 50% of all completions that Hinojosa has thrown in. The tackle there made by Jalen Rabb, number 19 for the defense. And under 30 seconds to go, Pima's in business down to the 30-yard line. Hinojosa still in the shotgun with Townsend off to his left. He's going to take the snap and throw. Oh, he's got a man open. Can he make the adjustment? No. And it looked like that was a fairly decent thrown ball. However, it looked like that was number 17 there, which is Daryl Clark, had to switch from which shoulder he was looking over and couldn't quite relocate the ball. And Ivan King was there on the coverage. That'll bring up 2nd and 10 from the 30. 18.8 seconds left. Pima, remember, has 1 timeout as Hinojosa stands in the shotgun with Townsend off to his left. He's going to take the snap. Under pressure. And he's going to lob one to the end zone into double coverage, and it is caught! It's caught! And it looks like, who is that? Number 11, it looks like. Which would be Jeff Cotton, the freshman wide receiver, 6'2", and 2 Badgers were there in the coverage, looked like to make a play. And at one point I thought that might be intercepted, but an absolutely outstanding job to go up and make that play by Cotton. And it looks like with 11.4 seconds left, Pima's going to take the lead into the half.
Yeah, and that's number 2, Chase. I talked about there's going to be 5 big plays that decides who wins the game and who would win them. Right now it's tied 1-1. Snow College had the 88-yard bomb, and now Pima has that to end the half.
And the PAT is good from Farmer, and now a huge turn of events with 18 seconds left. Hinojosa throws the ball up, and Cotton, his big 6'2" freshman wide receiver, goes up and just snatches the ball away from Jordan Preeter there, who was on the coverage. And again, just an outstanding play. And sometimes offense is just better than defense. And just like that, they take a 13-10 lead, an impressive drive from Pima. But we talked about this. This is what they do. They put up points.
Yeah, and we were a little concerned with Pima slowing it down by running, but as you saw on that drive, which they did with less than 2 minutes, they ran the ball. Now, that loosened up that Snow College defense to be able to make that play on the end. Now, interesting that the Badgers have got to somehow control Hinojosa on scrambling out, and in addition to that, they've got to control him in the pocket, because if you can keep the quarterback in the pocket, then they'll be a lot better. But right now, Hinojosa's getting out, finding time on the edges.
And Farmer set to kick off for this Pima team, and You can just feel the air go out of this stadium with that catch and a completely change of momentum. And again, it's Trinneman back deep to receive. And a short kick. And it's going to bounce once and is fielded. And bringing it up. Ooh, and a big hit there. And that's number 13 bringing it up, which is Khalif Salmon. And with 7.4 seconds left, the Snow Badger offense will come back onto the field. And, you know, they're out of timeouts. I'd imagine at this point you just kind of take a knee and cut your losses and get yourself to the locker room for halftime.
Yeah, if you're Snow College, that's how I feel what you do, because you've already had the momentum blown out of you. I guess you can try a deep pass, but in all reality, you don't want an interception that maybe goes for 6. You don't want a sack and a fumble and maybe a scoop and score. In all reality, everything that's going on right here, the Badgers just need to get out of the half.
And it looks like that's what they'll do.
They haven't played a good half, and to be down only by 3, I consider themselves lucky to be in this position.
And Kenwell will take the knee, and that'll take us into the half. And so we'll take a break for halftime again here in Ephraim, Utah, Badger Stadium. The Snow College Badgers 10, Pima, the Aztecs 13. We'll take a break. We'll join you here again on Snow TV.
Department is proud to host a celebration of rich athletic legacies. The Snow College Athletic Hall of Fame has been established to honor, pay tribute to, and perpetuate the memory of former athletes who, either through participation, support, or interest, have made outstanding contributions in the field of intercollegiate athletics, and who have helped bring recognition, honor, distinction, and excellence to Snow College. This year's Snow College Hall of Fame Committee has selected 5 individuals who have laid the groundwork and set the bar high for future generations of Badgers. Please join us in congratulating the inductees of the 2015 Athletic Hall of Fame.
It's my pleasure to introduce to you each of these members here today. First, welcome Bob Trithall. Bob was an integral part of Snow College athletics for over 38 years. He was director of the Activities Center, athletic director 3 times, established the Great Basin Environmental Education Center, developed the Varsity Experience Program, helped establish the Greenwood Student Center, initiated the broadcasting of Snow College football games, and served as VP of Student Affairs, softball coach, assistant baseball coach, and Western Swing Club advisor. Bob has taught numerous physical education classes, including Bowling with Bob, Intro to PE, sports officiating, circuit training, racquetball, and horsemanship, just to name a few. He has had more than 20,000 students in his classes throughout his career. Mr. Bob Trithall. Next is Dave Archer, football player from 1981 to 82. Receiving the award for Dave is his coach, Dave Arslinian. Quarterback, Dave led Snow College to a 1981 Wood Bowl victory, going 28-42 for 424 yards and 4 touchdowns. He earned the JUCO All-American honors and ranked 4th in the nation in passing in 1981. He played at Iowa State University, then 8 years in the NFL as QB for the Atlanta Falcons, Washington Redskins, San Diego Chargers, and Philadelphia Eagles. He also played 5 seasons in the CFL and 1 in the WLAF, where his team won a World Bowl championship, and he was named the MVP. He is currently the color commentator for ACC Network football broadcasts, Raycom Sports, and radio analyst for the Atlanta Falcons. CFL stats: he completed 1,388 of 2,434 passes for 20,671 yards and 120 touchdown passes. Dave Archer. Trenton Whiting helped take the first Badger team to the NJCAA All-American. As a sophomore, Trent was one of 4 finalists for the National Play of the Year honors and led the Badgers to the best team record in school history, 29-3. At Snow College, he averaged 19.6 points, 6 assists, 8 rebounds per game, first team All-SWAC, first team NJCAA, National Junior College Runner-Up Player of the Year, and the John Wooden National Junior College Player of the Year. At BYU, he was the Mountain West Newcomer of the Year. All MWC team averaged 16.3 points, 4.3 assists, 6 rebounds, and 2 steals per game. Overseas, 4 scoring titles, 5 Italian League MVPs, all-time leading scoring of Italian League basketball, and 2 championship titles. Welcome, Trent Whiting. Also being honored, but not here today, Casey Cook Sudquist, women's basketball from 99 to 2000. She helped lead her team to 2 straight SWAC conference championships and a final ranking of 12th in the nation. A round of applause for Casey Cook. And Jackson Vroman, part of the basketball team from 2001 to 2002. Receiving the award for Jackson, who passed away last June, is his father, Brett Vroman. Snow College Hall of Famer John Judkins said Jackson Vroman was one of the best players he's ever coached at Snow College. Vroman led Snow College to the 2002 SWAC title game with a relentless approach to rebounding. In his sophomore season, he led the Badgers with 23.9 points, 9.5 rebounds per game. He was an all-Big Game 12 selection at Iowa State, 31 overall pick in the 2004 NBA draft by the Chicago Bulls. Played 2 years with the NBA and played in the Lebanese national team in the FIBA World Basketball Championship, winning many titles and honors. Vroman led the Big 12 in rebounding, while a senior at Iowa State, averaging 9.6 rebounds per game. Vroman completed his 9th year in his professional career as a basketball player at the time of his death, June 29th, 2015. Big round of applause for Jackson Vroman. And welcome to the Hall of Fame, you here today. Congratulations.
Welcome back to Badger Stadium as we kick off the second half. Pima set to receive. And the kick is deep, and it's going over the head and out of the back of the end zone. And so Pima will take the ball at the 25, leading 13-10. If you're just joining us, you missed quite an entertaining first half. It was the Badgers who struck the big play first, so with an 88-yard touchdown from Cantwell to Trineman that gave them the early 7-3 lead. However, with 11 seconds left in the half, it actually turns out that was Donovan Moore. Donovan Moore, who found his man Cotton in the back of the end zone, who made an incredible leaping touchdown grab over two defenders to take the 13-10 lead into the second half. Alongside Jeff Britton, I'm Chase Metcalf. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, so in all reality, the Badgers were outplayed in the first half by Pima, and the score probably doesn't resemble how much they were outplayed. But in all reality, the Badgers have found plays. They've stepped up on defense in the red zone. A few penalties in that first half have really held them back, and hopefully they can pick it up here in the third quarter.
On first down and 10, it was Townsend that took the ball off the right hash for a gain of 4, bringing up 2nd and 6, and then Donovan Moore in the backfield. He's going to take the snap back to pass. Under pressure, scrambling around. He's got a little bit of daylight. He's going to square his shoulder and throw, and he's got a man wide open, and that's Hernandez. Hernandez stiff arms the man and gets finally shoved out of bounds down near the 27-yard line.
But I think this one's going to come back, Chase.
And there is a flag down back around the line of scrimmage in the area of holding. And again, this is the 5th time tonight with the two teams combined that a giant play has been negated by a holding penalty.
Yeah, and in all reality, it comes down to this. The Badgers did not keep Donovan Moore in the pocket. So what happens? Moore rolls out, you gave him more time to throw the ball, and then of course you have Hernandez coming across the middle. It's hard for a defensive player to stick close with a receiver that long, and that's what happens. A great defender in number 7, Ben Bergeson, gets beat because that's so much time. And so luckily, a holding penalty will bring that back.
A couple of things that stand out to me here in this first half. First of all, they held Hernandez to just 2 receptions for 32 yards. He's a big play guy. They seem to held in check a little bit. And then as well, Townsend with just 29 yards in that first half. He averages 125 a game, and only with 29 in that first half. So well done by the Badger defense. And Moore back to pass, and he's going to scramble up the middle, and he's hit. Ball's loose. And the Badgers are going to recover, and he's running with it. Crosses the 30, cuts back.
Chance Arbon looking for space, and he
Chance
finds
Arbon still on his feet, and he's stiff-arming guys, still on his feet. And he's carrying guys, and it looks like he's into the end zone, a touchdown. Chance Arbon with maybe the play of the year as he recovers the fumble, and he would not go down. And Snow's going to score it to take a 16-13 lead to open up the second half. And a huge momentum shift there for the Snow Badger defense.
The scoop and score, and it's interesting. I don't want to say I called it, but in the first half I did mention that Donovan Moore was holding the bar very far out from his body, and it'd be interesting when Snow College would capitalize, and they do on the first drive. Interesting, one penalty has completely changed the tone of the game, from a first down inside the 30 to a Snow College touchdown.
And an absolutely outstanding play there by Arbon. Really, you looked and you thought, okay, he's just going to jump on the ball and try and recover it before anyone else jumps on it. Has the presence of mind to pick it up, and then he probably fought off 5 or 6 potential tacklers to take that into the end zone. And just an absolutely outstanding play by number 22, Chance Arbon. And
something interesting, play. Arbon in high school played running back, so I think those running back moments of I'm going to score a touchdown came back, and he was able to get the touchdown, a defensive touchdown for the Badgers.
And the PAT is up and good, and that gives Snow the 17-13 lead as we start the second half. And for you, And welcome back to Badger Stadium after an incredible 22-yard fumble return from Jance Arbon gives Snow a 17-13 lead to start the second half. Alongside Jeff Britton, I'm Chase Metcalf, and the Badgers set to kick off. And this one again going deep, and about 5 yards deep, and he's going to bring this one out. That's Darryl Clark splitting, and he's going to run up, take it to about the 20, we'll call it the 23-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for this Pima offense. And looks like Raji Christian there on the special teams tackle. Now, Jeff, coming into the second half, already a huge momentum shift. What is the key for Snow to keep their foot on the gas and come away here with a win? And not just a win, but a conference championship as well.
Right, and I think, as I mentioned, 5 plays. So now we've hit the 3rd play. Snow College has had 2 big plays. Pima's only had 1. So the things that Snow College has got to do is they've got to keep this momentum going, because a lot of times they switch the momentum back to Pima and Pima takes control again. So they've got to keep their foot on the pedal, and the way they're going to do that is defense.
Moore swings it out wide to his running back, who is Hoffman, and he gets taken out of bounds after a gain of about 3 out to the 24-25 yard line. It'll bring up 2nd and 7. 13-18 left in this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and I feel like Snow College, the offense wasn't doing everything possible, but here the defense scores for you. So if you can just get everyone playing on that same level, have every team, whether it's special teams, the defensive team, the offensive team, if you get everyone scoring like this, you're going to do great.
And 2nd down. Moore in the shotgun with Townsend off to his left. He's going to take and roll to his right, looking downfield. And he's going to throw it, and it's dropped. And he takes a big hit. That's Eric Diedrich, who took an absolutely massive hit there from number 6, Braxton Winterton.
Yeah, and it was interesting because Winterton stepped up as if he was going to blitz. And then what happened is he stepped back into the coverage, and he was there, but then he got caught looking in the backfield at Moore, because Moore's been that threat. And so in all reality, right there, receiver open, just unable to hold on because he could just, feel the pressure coming. You can hear those cleats getting close.
And it'll bring up a 3rd down and long here for Pima. As Moore in the shotgun again with Townsend off to his left, and he's back to pass. He's going to throw over the middle, too high. Intended there for his number 1 guy, Hernandez. And that'll bring up 4th down, so another big stop here for the Snow defense. And do you think that maybe they learned something after the defense couldn't really hold up last week against Eastern Arizona? I think there was more of a focus of when the second half starts, we can't let up.
Right, and that's what happened. Is last week it was more of a lackadaisical, as you're up by so many scores, you might as well just keep your foot off the pedal. But as Snow's seen that, they've got to keep pushing. And in all reality, I don't see Pima being out of this game. They've only lost 2 big plays, and that's kind of been the big switch for them. And so if they can maybe get something going, they should be fine.
And a punt here, deep to Prater, who does not call for the fair catch, and here he goes. A return of about 7, and really dangerous there not to call for that fair catch, as there were 3 or 4 Aztecs right around him, and I think it almost looked like they were stunned as well that he didn't call for the fair catch.
And I think the reason he did is because on the last punt he had the same situation where he called a fair catch, and he noticed that most of the Pima defenders were either behind him or more spaced out, and so he saw lanes, and I think that's why he did it again there, is that Pima's not coming down and standing in front of him, but they're coming and standing on the side, and so he can try to make a play. That's what I think he's seeing on those plays.
And that'll bring up 1st and 10 in great field position on the 48-yard line as Cantwell in the shotgun. Weren't sure if we'd see him in the second half, but he's looking good to go. And it looked like the offense moved early, and that'll move him back 5 yards to bring up 1st and 15. Yeah. How important is Cantwell to this team?
I believe he's very important in the fact that he's had so much time with his receivers. And we saw that with Richmond in that time where Cantwell was on the bench, was that Richmond just couldn't kind of find the connection between the two, because I think Richmond's a great player, and we saw that he's got that great running ability. So I just think they're so different quarterbacks. But Cantwell, for this team, he's just got so much chemistry going with his team right now.
And Cantwell's going to hand the ball off, running left, and he's going to cut up, and a nice run there. And it looks like that was number 30, which is Moore's, getting his 3rd carry of the night. A nice run to the left side that's going to pick up about 11 or 12 there to bring up 2nd down and 3. Now, some interesting stats from the first half on the Snow side. Cantwell, when he was in the game, was 7 of 8 for 111 yards. Now, that sounds fantastic, but 81 of that came on, or excuse me, 88 of that came on one play. So that means the other 6 passing completions that he's made are going for 2 or 3 yards. So what do they need to do to kind of open this up here in the second half?
I think in all reality, they've got to start making the crossing routes. They've got to start changing things up. Now, as we see, Cantwell heads to the bench, and Richmond's back in. So maybe the Badgers are just going to go more with the 2-quarterback look, and they're going to run at Pima what Pima runs at them.
And Richmond on the keeper at the option read, and he runs forward for about 4 yards, enough for the first down, and that'll take him up all the way down to the Pima 41-yard line. It'll be first down, and the offense is moving right now. The defense is playing spectacular. You have a 4-point lead, looking to extend it with 11:55 left to go in this third quarter.
I just wanted to point out one thing on that last big run by Morris 2 plays ago. Fackrell had a great block, and we're just seeing Fackrell play as a great player, not just passing and receiving, but also blocking on the other end.
And he's got a wide open man, does Richmond. He gets tackled after a gain of about 9, all the way down to about the 31-yard line. And a nice play there. Another misdirection play where he fakes the handoff, spins around, and he rolls out right. And again, it looks like that was number 86, Hunter Marshall, who was wide open there, and the flag took it for 9 yards, and that'll bring up 2nd and 1. And Paul Davis there on the stop.
Yeah, and Paul Davis did a good job as he's the corner there. He was dropping back into his zone and then came up and made a tackle because he's on his island out there. If he doesn't make that tackle, huge yardage gains.
Cantwell back in the game, who hands off to, looks like, number 25. And interesting enough, we found out that is actually Labrador. So Labrador switching, normally wears the 43. However, Josh Labrador wearing the 25, and he had 5 rushes for 28 yards in the first half. Gets his first carry of the second half, which is good for a first down.
Yeah, so the Badgers are starting to find a little niche in the offense that they're not being one-sided, and I feel like that's what's kind of been the issue for the Badgers this year is they get one-sided, and I'm loving to see that they're, especially in this game, they're just continuing to run, continuing to pass. Let's continue to drive and get another touchdown and continue to build this lead so that, you don't have any comebacks or any fourth-quarter miracles by Pima.
And the ball's going to Labrador again. And a big hole there, and he cuts upfield, and he's going to be tackled all the way down to the 10-yard line. A flag came out around the line of scrimmage, but they didn't blow the play dead. And that one could have been an offsides and a big first down there if it stands all the way down to the 10-yard line, a gain of about 20.
Yeah, if it's offsides, then the Badgers will just decline, and they'll move the ball down to the 11-yard line.
And that's what they end up calling. They call offsides on number 31, Keenan Arroyo, the freshman defensive back. And again, so that play will stand, a 20-yard run there from Josh Labrador, who's having himself a nice afternoon. And that'll bring up 1st and 10 from about the 11. So, again, they can
still get a first down.
They can get a first down inside the 1, and another nice-looking drive here for this offense.
I don't think it's going to take the Badgers that long to score. I say 1 or 2 plays and they're in.
And they're going to give the ball back to Labrador, who spins out of a tackle, and he's going to be corralled and gang tackled down at about the 8-yard line. And a flag comes in late. And it looks like this one might have been another late hit personal foul against Pima. And Jason Fierro there on the stop. And we'll see what this penalty is. As
I think that was on the penalty was on Jason.
It was on Jason Fierro as well. Okay, so Snow afterwards, the sideline kind of jumped up and was screaming and didn't like something. And it looks like that is what it's going to be. And that is going to be on Fierro, the personal foul, and that's an automatic first down. And so that'll move the ball inside the 10, and it'll be 1st and goal for Snow, already up 17-13 with 10 minutes left in this third quarter.
Yeah, and right now you've got so much in the hat of plays, what you can call and what you're going to do. I personally feel it's just going to be a nice little maybe out route or in the corner of the end zone. I think he's going to look over to Fackrell or Trinnaman on the right side.
Fackrell and Trinnaman both split out to the right. Trinnaman lined up directly behind Fackrell. And Labrador in the backfield, who's going to step to Cantwell's left. Cantwell in the shotgun. He'll take the snap, and he'll fake the handoff and go, and he's going to be, oh no, he gets away from the tackle, and he dives forward. What looked like he was going to be sacked for a loss of about 3, spins away from and dives, and he's going to be inside the 2-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal. Very nicely done from Cantwell to have the strength to break that tackle, avoid the loss, and still gain 2 on the play.
Yeah, and in all reality, Cantwell did a good job as in sidestepping the tackle there, but I feel like he should have given the handoff to Shepard not to Shepherd, sorry, to Labrador, just right up the middle, because I felt like Labrador had a better chance going downhill to just get over the top of the line and into the end zone.
And that'll bring up 2nd down and goal from the 2-yard line. And play is stopped, and it looks like that might be another illegal substitution on Pima. They might have had 12 men back there. And that's what they're going to call, another illegal substitution, and that's the 2nd time we've seen that down on the goal line for Pima.
I guess the Pima's coach is just thinking that maybe he needs one extra guy in there and try to get away with 12 men to try to make a defensive stop.
He likes his odds with 12 on 11 than he does 11 on 11 from the 2.
This is an interesting formation that the Badgers are coming out in.
So that'll move the ball maybe a half-yard closer as it's 2nd down, and the ball goes straight to Shepherd. He's met right at the line.
He's in.
And he's got it. A touchdown. The signal comes in. Shepherd looks like he was met right at the goal line, keeps those legs churning, and he gets in, and that'll be another touchdown for Snow, their 2nd of this half, and they'll go up 23-13 with the PAT pending.
Yeah, and I think the Badgers coming out of halftime, Coach Gritmon must have said something in there to really get his team going for a defensive stop, and then right here to get the ball back, drive the field, score another touchdown. Now, it'll be interesting to see what the Badgers do if they get lackadaisical again, because I never count this Pima team out. This Pima team is good. You've seen Devin Moore today. You've seen what he can do. You can see what he does in a lot of situations, so I would watch out. If I'm Snow, I do not let off the pedal. I drive the whole time.
The PAT is good for Moose Bingham, and it is now 24-13. And in this 2nd half, and again, 9:30 to play, so we've only played less than 6 minutes. We've had a defensive touchdown. Then they force a 3-and-out. Then they get the ball and drive down about 52 yards for another touchdown. And so when it seemed like momentum had shifted there at the end of the first half, they were down 13-10, 14 very quick points in the first 5.5 minutes of this 2nd half to regain the lead, regain momentum. And like you said, you cannot take your foot off the gas if you're Snow. And that feeling has got to be all too familiar, as they were up 27-9 in the 2nd half last week and they lost.
Yeah, and I feel that Snow College comes into this game with that feeling that, you know, we made a mistake last week and we should have won that game. And I think they're out here to prove something, that they're still a top-ranked team. Easily a top 10 because they're still number 8, but a top 5 team in the nation because, of course, the division they're in is a great division. You've got Eastern, and you've got a great team in Pima. You've got good teams in the division. So, in all reality, great competitive nature here at Snow College.
And another deep kickoff, and that's going to sail out of bounds out of the back of the end zone. So Pima once again will take over at the 25. And again, a fumble that led to a touchdown on their first possession, a 3-and-out thanks to a holding penalty on the 2nd possession. And so again, the Snow defense playing very strong here in this 2nd half already. And we'll see what Pima can do as Moore is really he was able to scramble and pick up some yards in the first half. Not the case so far in the 2nd half.
Yeah, and I think it's due to the fact that the Badger defensive line is staying in their lanes. If you watch, they're not breaking down. They're staying in their spots. They've got to keep going. They've got to get things right. Like right there, you saw every Badger in their right lane, and then you're going to cause everything to just collapse on itself.
And a run by Townsend up the middle for no gain. And again, 29 yards in the first half. A guy who averages over 125 per game to lead the conference is getting no breathing room up front.
So as of right now, the Badgers are in first place at 6-1. If they win, they'll be at home this upcoming week. And depending the outcomes of the other games will decide who they'll play against. Now, if they lose today, they're going to have to travel to Eastern and play against Eastern. But then after Eastern in second place, you've got Pima Community College, which are playing right now in third, Arizona Western in fourth, New Mexico Military fifth, Scottsdale in sixth.
Moore's going to scramble again and throw to a wide-open receiver who's got some speed, and he's running up, and it looks like that was actually number 11, Jeff Cotton, who caught the touchdown right at the end of the first half. And he turned on the Jets as soon as he got that. That's going to turn into a gain of about 20 to 22 yards, and that's exactly what Pima needed as Moores was struggling a little bit. Finally rolls out to his left, gets some breathing room, and finds a wide-open man.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I don't think the defense was able to locate the receiver there because he was kind of just all by himself, just in the corner behind the zone.
And now first down from the 48, and Pima moving the ball more. in the shotgun with Townsend off to his left, and he's going to give it to him up the middle. And he runs for a gain of about 3 to bring up 2nd and 7, crosses midfield.
Yeah, and I think Eastern, they're in the situation, you know, you're down by 2 possessions, but they're not going to do anything different. They're going right back to what they do best. I just love to watch a team like this that they don't let them phase them. They just keep going. They're going back to the run, back to the pass. They're not changing anything.
And it looked like this time it was Snow that jumped off sides, and a little trick play there, it almost looked like, as Moore went out to the right. And everyone kind of stopped because of the jump, and the refs essentially let him play, saying that he wasn't unevaded to the quarterback. So that's going to give him 5 yards, an obvious offside, which will move it instead of 2nd and 6, or what would have been 3rd and maybe 4, will now be 2nd and 1.
Yeah, and it seems like both teams, Snow and Pima, at moments when you just would love to see them be disciplined, not make any penalties, they get in situations with penalties. We saw Pima have a huge gain of about 40 yards called back off a holding. You see Snow College here that they're going to be 3rd down and medium, maybe get off the field and have the offense score and really separate themselves from Pima, but now we've got a wide open receiver.
Here comes the blitz, and he held on. What a catch! To the far side of the field, and it looks like, was that number 11? Was that Cotton again? Or is that Hernandez over there? I can't quite see if that's 21 or 11, but essentially Moore threw up just a jump ball.
It's Hernandez.
And it is Hernandez, and it's Hernandez who goes up, and it was pretty tight coverage, it looked like there from Bergeson, but again, Hernandez just went up and snatched that ball, and that's the 2nd time today we've seen a Pima receiver jump up and just take the ball away from good defense, and this time they'll run it up the middle with Townsend. He gets another 3, so now they're in the red zone. It'll be 2nd down and 7 from about the 13. Pima not going away.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, Pima will continue to fight. They're that kind of team that's not going to give up. Pima isn't 5-2 because when they're down by 2 scores, they just settle. They're a team that's not ever going to give up, and you'll see that. They haven't missed a step. They continue to do their thing. And
Moore this time with a little misdirection, and he's going to be tackled for about no gain. He got maybe back to the line of scrimmage, if that, and that'll bring up 3rd and 7 with 6:40 left to go in this 3rd quarter. Snow up 24-13, and this will be a big 3rd down for Pima, who's looking to get back in this game.
And I think Pima, if they don't get it here, they've played very conservative, but at the same time, I think the coach is going to have to make a decision, and Coach Jim Monaco is going to have to maybe go here on 4th down once or twice, as his team has got to start to make some bigger plays.
Here's Moore back to pass, and he's going to throw, and it's caught. It's caught this time, and that's going to be enough for the 1st down all the way down to about the 10-yard line. And it looks like that one was actually number 5, Wesley Payne. Or excuse me, number 6, Eric Diedrich, who's the big redshirt sophomore tight end. And that's his 2nd catch of the night, and a big, big conversion there. And that'll bring up 1st down and goal from the 5-yard line. Moore back to pass out of the shotgun. Throwing over the middle, and it's just off the fingertips for the touchdown. And he took a big hit there. That's looking for Hernandez, just a little bit high. And Hernandez paid the price for going up to try and snag that one.
Yeah, and you can't ask for much more. Hernandez, he's 6'1", so not the tallest receiver, but out of his outstretched arms, that's just too high of a pass. Yeah, you definitely don't want to go too low because then Ben Ferguson is there to kind of like break it up. But in all reality, you got to put that more on the money if you're Moore, because those are your opportunities that you can't miss.
That'll bring up 2nd and goal from the 5 as Moore back in the shotgun with Townsend off to his left. He's going to pass again. Scrambles to his right under pressure, and he's going to lob it up and too high and out of the back of the end zone. That time again looking for number 6, Diedrich, his big tight end, and that'll bring down another 3rd down and goal. And we've seen this twice already tonight where Snow has been able to hold when Pima has the ball inside the 10.
Yeah, and it's interesting right here, Coach Mon brings in a whole set of new defensive linemen, brings in some of those big names, as Handsome's in there ready to make a play, and also number 56 for the Badgers, John Pinicini.
And so a 5:43 left in the third quarter, trailing 24-13. It's 3rd and goal for the Aztecs. Moore in the shotgun, Townsend left to him. And he's going to throw off the middle, and it's intercepted! It's intercepted, and he's going to return the ball. He's got the edge, and he's tripped up down at the 15-yard line. A huge play, and it looks like that was Dax Eisinger. We have called his name a couple times tonight, and he was right place, right time there. A poor decision there for Moore, and a huge turnover, 2nd turnover of this half for Pima, and Eisinger comes up with the interception.
There's also a penalty on the play, so I don't know what they're going to call here, but it's over on the Pima sideline. Sideline warning on Pima. So something very interesting, Chase, is that Eisinger's kind of been in charge of that QB spy this whole game. He's kind of been watching what Moore's doing, but right there finally able to just sit down in the middle and make a great play.
And you could see him just reading the eyes there. And again, looking over the middle on 3rd down for his big tight end, Diedrich, and Eisinger just read it perfectly and was able to step in front and intercept it. So another huge stop for this Snow Badger defense as they take over up 24-13 with 5:35 left in this third quarter. And it looks like that's Richmond back in the game. He'll give to Shepard. Shepard up the middle, a nice hole, and he's still churning, getting some help from his offensive line. And that'll be a gain of about 14 yards. Another first down all the way out to the 29. A nice run there by Shepard.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Shepard gets his first contact maybe 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. He's able to break tackles, able to get people on his back and continue to move his feet. And that's what you love about Steven Shepard, is he's that style of player that never stops moving his feet. He's a bigger guy. He's lower to the ground. I feel he's got that lower center of gravity, and so he's a lot harder to take down. And so you see plays like that where he's able to get a lot of yardage, and it really helps the situation. Why? You're up by 2 scores. You don't want to be throwing the ball. You don't want to have the risk of throwing interceptions. You might as well give it to someone you trust in a sophomore, Steven Shepard, hand off the ball, break some time, but continue to keep your foot on the pedal by going downfield to try to get another score.
And interestingly enough, it's Cantwell that's still on the sideline. He's got his helmet on, but it's Richmond that's back there as they've run out of this formation. Not only just when Cantwell was getting his ankle retaped, but they've gone to this formation quite a few times, even when Cantwell's been available. And Richmond's going to give it to Shepard again, who cuts back to the right, and he's got another big hole up the middle, another big gain. He's still going. And he'll take that one down all the way to the 44-yard line. Another gain of about 15, so back-to-back big runs for Steven Shepard.
Yeah, he gets his the main amount of contact 10 yards down the field. So he's getting the first down no matter what. And then somehow he's able to squirt out of it and gain another 3 or 4 yards. And so it's just great to see Shepard go. And I feel like he's just underplayed. I feel like, yeah, you get tired, but I just feel like he's so underplayed for the Badgers because he's such a threat.
And it's Richmond who will take the snap again. And this one's going to be an end around.
And Garrett Bowles.
And he has got some room to go and takes a big hit, but that's Trineman with another big run. A nice little misdirection end around that's going to go for about another 17 yards all the way down to the 39-yard line this time of Pima. So 3 straight runs as we see Cantwell running back in for the first time on this series. 3 big runs, 3 first downs. And again, it seems like this Badger offense hasn't really clicking no matter who's in there.
Yeah, in all reality, you finally are starting to see Snow College really show who they are on the offensive end, trying to run a little bit of trick plays. But as you have the left tackle there, Garrett Bowles was able to be 10 yards downfield and help make a block on the end around.
And Cantwell back in, like I mentioned, for the first time on this drive, and he'll take the shotgun snap and he'll hand it off. This one goes to Labrador again, number 25, and he is stuffed for a short gain of about 2.5, maybe 3.
And in all reality, when you're Snow College, you love to see, and I've mentioned it a few times, but the fact that you're getting so many running backs, so many reps. And now you're starting to see it at the quarterback position. So now you're starting to think, this is going to help, especially in a situation right now where you're at 8 games, people are starting to get worn down, especially in the third quarter with 3 minutes, 30 seconds left. You know, you start to see people that are more energized and have more juice left in the tank to keep playing.
Cantwell takes a shot out of the snap gun. And he's going to lob it deep, and he's got a man who gets tripped up. And the flag comes in from the sideline. He was going deep, and it looked like their legs got tangled up, and that was Timmy Hernandez, their wide receiver, who also plays DV, who gets tangled up there. And it looks like that was number 88, who is DeAndre Vines. He's been targeted a few times tonight. And it looked again like their feet just kind of got tangled. He gets tripped up, and the flag comes in from the sideline. That'll be pass interference, so another big penalty.
Yeah, and for me, that's a tough call. The reason being is because you're trying to play competitive. You're trying to play good defense. Right there, number 36, A.J. McBriar, just right there running along with him. And yeah, of course, sometimes you're going to get your feet tangled, so you've got to watch that. I personally don't know if I agree with that call or not, but at the end of the day, you know, it's hard. That's probably one of the toughest positions is to play defensive back, especially when you're in man coverage.
And so that'll move the ball all the way down to the 27 where it'll be 1st and 10, and you just got to wonder, the defender has as much right to the ball as the wide receiver, but it didn't look like he had his head around, and I think that might have been what the ref kind of ultimately decided was the reason for the pass interference. But Cantwell out of the shotgun on 1st down and 10. He's going to give it off to Labrador, who cuts to the outside, and he's going to be swallowed up by a gang of defenders after a gain of about 2. Down to about the 20-yard line, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 8 as the clock ticks under 3 minutes here in the 3rd quarter with the Badgers up 24-13 here at Badger Stadium.
Yeah, and you got to be impressed with this Snow College offensive line. Great offensive line, working hard, keeps everything going downhill. It's just great to see. And right now they bring in another offensive lineman because it looks like they're going to go more towards the run. It's number 75, Ulevale, who is kind of that O-line freshman that gives that extra block.
Oh, and he completes the pass. It looks like that's number 84 who's going to just walk into the end zone. And that actually looks like that is going to be Campbell with another catch for him, and he scores a touchdown. And Cantwell fakes the handoff, turns to his right, and what does he see? A giant defensive lineman who's ready to just truck him, stands in the pocket, takes the hit, and delivers a perfect strike right there to Campbell, who walks in for the touchdown. So that's 3 touchdowns now in this 3rd quarter for this Snow College team, and they're a point after away from being up 31-13.
21 unanswered points for Pima. Something interesting, Jonah Trinman throws an awesome block on the corner there so that they can just walk in and get the touchdown.
That ended up springing Campbell open, and the PAT is good from Moose Bingham. And again, Snow maybe learning a little bit from their experience last week after giving up a 2nd half lead. Scores 3 touchdowns to open this 3rd quarter, and with 2:27 left, it's Snow 31, Pima 13. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with you here on Snow TV. Welcome back to Badger Stadium as a Campbell touchdown from Stephen Cantwell gives the Badgers a 31-13 lead with 2:27 left in the 3rd quarter. Moose Bingham set to kick off another deep kick, and this one sails out of bounds out of the back of the end zone once again for another touchback, and so Pima will take over at the 25-yard line. And they have really struggled this half. After scoring a touchdown with 11 seconds left in the first half to take the lead, they have done nothing but 3 and out, give up a turnover, and a fumble that led to a touchdown, and throw an interception in the red zone.
And I don't think I can personally give a lot of credit to the Snow College offense. I'm going to give it to the Snow College defense. Why? The Snow College defense coming out of the half gets forced fumble, scoop score, touchdown. Then on top of that, and a drive that's going to probably go for 7 points turns into an interception and turns for 7 for the Badgers. So the defense really here in this 2nd half has started to step up. And, you know, Coach Mon's got to be excited because that's who he coaches is his defense, and he asked him to step up.
And more back to pass, and he's going to sling one downfield, and that falls incomplete, in and out of the hands of what it looks like might be Timmy Hernandez. Or no, that's actually going to be number 11, who is Cotton, Jeff Cotton. And that's one that you got to catch. Looks like it just went kind of through his arm as he was coming back on that back route.
Yeah, and when you've got a target wide open like that, you want to put the ball in his numbers, and in all reality, he did. The pass was a little low, but that's the only place where Ben Ferguson wasn't going to make a play.
And it's a fake handoff. Moore's going to keep it as he goes up the middle. And he's still going, gets spun around, but never actually was down. And he ends up picking up a nice gain of about 7. Now that'll bring up 3rd and 3 and another big 3rd down for Pima.
Yeah, and Moore continues to do what he does best, and that's that zone read. And I just feel like the zone read offense is a great offense, but if you are not making consistent plays to score, then you're not going to do well, as looked like 79 there jumped off sides.
And that's going to be Jordan Agasiva. And that's who they pin it on. And so that'll move him back. So instead of 3rd and a long 2, it'll be 3rd and about 7. So
Yeah,
we'll see what Pima draws up. How does that change what you can call here on a 3rd down when you get a penalty
Before
like
it
that?
was easily go with Moore, run it up the middle, run that zone read, but now you got to pass the ball.
And they're going to throw it, and it's broken up and intercepted. It's intercepted. And he is going to walk, and he's only got 1 man to beat, and that's the quarterback who can't make the play, and that's number 32, Tui Tafa, who just 3 weeks ago was the conference defensive player of the entire nation in the NJCAA, comes up with a huge interception and returns it for a touchdown. That's 2 defensive touchdowns now in the 4th quarter, and Snow is now up 37-13.
And that's exactly what I was saying, Chase. When it came down to it, it's the defense that's won I can't say that they won, but the defense that has taken control of this game. You know, if it gets tipped like that, most of the time it's hard to control and find the ball, but in all reality, great job there. Number 32, Tui Tafa, is able to control it and then get into the end zone.
And Tui Tafa, it looked like he just tried to bat that pass down. He did an excellent job getting in the passing lane. Not only batted it away, but had the presence of mind to turn his body, find it, tip it to himself, and then essentially walked untouched and only had more to beat on his way to the end zone, and he did that fairly easily. And again, that's the 3rd takeaway in this 3rd quarter and the 2nd touchdown by this Badger defense as they're starting to run away with everything.
Yeah, and Moore, up until the 2nd half, all his decisions were great. Making great decisions, making great passes. And then you see the frustration kind of start to come out where they're not having the success that they want on the run game. So they're forcing him to pass the ball more. And when he throws that pass across the middle in the red zone and they throw a pick, and then he comes back out here and throws into double coverage, thought he could sneak it in there, but, you know, you got to, in all reality, got to be careful.
And Moose Bingham takes on the point after try, and that's going to be 38-13 now with 1:39 left to go in the 3rd quarter. The Badgers are starting to open this one up, and we're going to take a quick break here on Snow TV. The Badgers with another touchdown. Welcome back to Badger Stadium here in the beautiful Ephraim, Utah with 1:39 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Another Badger defensive touchdown in the 2nd half gives them a 38-13 lead as Moose Bingham is set to kick off. Now there was a penalty for excessive celebration that happened after the touchdown, so the touchdown stood. However, that penalty moves the kickoff all the way back to the 20.
And Chase, I feel like this is important play because you can't let, holy wow, that's a big kick. But you can't let Pima get good position.
And they're going to fake a reverse on the kickoff, and it's number 22 running up the sideline, Brandon Yamamoto. And he has a big return, still on his feet, spinning around, and a flag comes in late. And he's going to be down at about the 43-yard line or so. But a big return, but it looks like that one actually will be coming back a little bit as it's thrown in the area of a block in the back or some sort of hold.
Yeah, in all reality, on those types of plays, the Badgers do a good job of getting down and trying to make a play on the defensive end, because you don't want momentum to get switched all of a sudden because a huge return. They return it for a touchdown, and then Pima finds some type of fire. But good job there by Snow, and it looks like a block in the back. So in all reality, this drive's probably going to start from about the 25-yard line, and that's the best scenario you can have.
And so after the penalty, you're right, Jeff, that'll move them back to about the 25, where it'll be 1st and 10 for a Pima offense that scored a touchdown late in the first half to give themselves the lead. Looked like they might have been stealing momentum into the second half, but has done next to nothing. In fact, they've gone backwards with their turnovers here in this second half, and looks like they've actually taken more out as they throw one downfield, and it falls incomplete. But it actually looks like they have subbed out their quarterback. Moore is now standing over there on the sideline. I'm trying to get a look at who their new quarterback is. And it looks like that's actually going to be Cayenne Home, number 7, the sophomore quarterback. Big guy, 6'5", 210, from Surprise, Arizona. And again, offense has struggled so much. And as a defense, what does that do to your psyche when you look over and you see that their starting quarterback is on the bench?
Yeah, and I don't know if it's a confidence thing, because the first, sorry, you can go ahead, is the incomplete pass and then a late flag.
And a late flag coming in. So they tried to throw the screen there to Townsend, and it was beautifully read by the Badger defense. It falls incomplete. It looked like maybe number 96 came in late on that hit and hit him after the ball was incomplete, which is Haimuli. And it looks like they might actually get him for a late hit here. The refs are discussing it back at the 10-yard line.
It'd be interesting to know like what is going through Pima right now, because Antonio Inosa has really been the huge producer for them, but today they've had Devon Moore all game and now taking Moore out, so maybe there's just not a whole lot of confidence in the quarterback system, and we'll see what they can do to kind of adjust it here, because in all reality, if a quarterback throws 2 picks, I feel like you don't take him out of the game. You continue to put your confidence in him and continue to give him a try. But maybe Coach Jim Monaco is seeing something else, and he wants to give a shot at Keon Home, who's gone 26 for 58, and he's at 44% passing. He's got 393 yards. He's got 2 TDs and 5 interceptions on the season, so it's kind of interesting.
So not the guy that you'd think you'd see here tonight, as a little miscommunication there with his receiver. His receiver cut off his route and came back, and it looked like Home thought that he was going to keep going, and that pass again intended for number 21, Timmy Hernandez. And Hernandez has been held in check. Is that more of what the Badger defense has done, or is it more of maybe a little miscommunication with the quarterback?
I think it's a little bit of both, and I think it's due to the fact that who's going to start at quarterback? Inosa, Moore, and now Home. Like, in all reality, if you're in a week of practice and you're not sure who's going to be your quarterback, it's hard to build that chemistry. And just like right now, you saw when Richards came in for Snow College, it took a while to get the completions going.
And it'll be 2nd down as 10 as Home back to pass. Has his man in and out of the hands of Cotton. And Cotton, who's been pretty sure-handed all year, completely just dropped that one. And a flag comes in very late down at the 40-yard line in the secondary, right where that pass was dropped. And so we'll see what this one is. But, again, Pima just not helping themselves out. Dropping passes, penalties, interceptions, fumbles. And things continue to go from bad to worse for this Pima offense.
It'll be interesting to see the penalty and what they called, because I personally, from my view, I didn't see anything done wrong. So we'll wait the call from the referee.
And they're over talking to Coach Mon, so it looks like this is on Pima, and they're discussing whether or not they want to decline it or not. And they're going to call pass interference, it looks like, on Pima. And it looked like that actually might have been one of the pick plays the referees have really been honing in on lately. If you're going to run your route, you have to run your route. You cannot stop and intentionally pick or hit a player in order to get another receiver who's running the opposite way open. And it looks like that is maybe what they got him on. But I think that Snow likes their chances on 3rd and 10, and they're going to go ahead and decline it.
No, yeah, you would much rather, especially after Home just barely came in, you want to make sure they make a play and don't give them another opportunity to make a play here on 3rd down and 10.
And so 3rd and 10 from the 36 as it's home back to pass, and he's going to sling a deep one for Hernandez, and it's overthrown and nearly intercepted. And it looks like that was Bergeson there on the coverage, and he's upset at himself. He wanted one of his own, and he thought that he should have come down with that. As thrown into double coverage, and it looks like Pima with the home back there is just kind of desperate to get something going, taking deep shots that you really have no business throwing.
And I was talking in the third quarter that Pima really didn't lose their composure after the scoop and score and then after the second pick, but it seems like it's all kind of falling apart in the last couple minutes, that they're just trying to be desperate and not going to who they are.
And 4th and 10, they're about to punt the ball, but it looks like a penalty is going to be called on Snow, and this is the third illegal substitution penalty that we've had today for Pima twice and now Snow for having too many people on the field. And that brings up 4th and 5, and it looks like they're going to keep the punting unit out there anyway, punting from the 41, but that'll bring up 4th and 5, and another silly mistake there on the special teams.
You can't have a penalty like that because punt team's always the same. It's the same 11 guys every time.
And a punt that runs right, punt comes back left and is going to bounce and take a Snow hop, and it goes out of bounds right at about the 28.5-yard line. And so with 47 seconds left in the third quarter, Snow well in control of this one, 38-13. We're going to take a break, but we'll be right back here on Snow TV. Welcome back to Snow TV. As on 1st down and 10, the handoff goes to Labrador, who gets swallowed up. Actually lost about 3 yards there, and that'll bring down 2nd and 13 from the 26. And Snow is going to have to run at least one more play before the quarter ends, as the clock ticks under 25 seconds. And if you're Coach Mon right now, what do you tell your team up 38-13?
I tell them don't slow down. And you see that. You haven't seen any second string guys come in. They can't have last week happen again. So it's don't slow down. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep making plays and continue to move the chains, and they'll win the game. And
Cantwell slings it over on the crossing route, and that pass is complete. And it looks like that one will go to number 20. It was Ayotoa Ogafa. And that'll bring us to the end of the third quarter. And a huge third quarter there for Snow, down 10-13 coming into the third quarter, score 28 unanswered, and they'll take a 38-13 lead into the fourth. We're going to go ahead and take a break with them. We'll be right back on Snow TV. Welcome back to Badger Stadium here on Snow TV alongside Jeff Britton. I'm Chase Metcalf as the Badgers face a 3rd down and about 3. Cantwell back to pass. He's going to throw low and incomplete, looking for Croyle there, and that'll bring up 4th down.
They were trying to run that screen pass again across the middle, that 3rd down screen pass that they had success in the first half, ended up picking about 15 yards, and that time just incomplete. It looks like Pima was able to smell it out and go ahead and make a stop.
And out to punt is going to be Penizzolo for the Badgers. And deep to receive that punt is going to be Darryl Clark. And again, I think if you're Coach Mon and the Badger staff, you're still a little nervous after the big lead you gave up in the fourth quarter last week. You got to feel comfortable with the 38-13 lead. But as you mentioned before, no excuse to take your foot off the gas and a quick 3 and out to start the fourth.
Yeah, I was just noticing something, Chase. We've always been calling Panazzolo as the punter, but it looks like on this play he's not in. It looks like it's number 10 or number 18, and so it's kind of interesting to see. I can't quite make out the number, but I think it's number 18, Jalen Manaski, but he's not even listed as a punter, so I wonder where Panazzolo is, because Panazzolo is usually number
85, and you know, again, we've seen a couple times already there have been a couple of roster changes as far as number goes, and so again, and a flag comes in for a late hit on the punter, and that ball is going to settle down at about the 24-yard line. But we'll see if this is roughing the punter or if this is running into the punter. Two very different penalties here, and we'll wait for the call.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker on the defense. 15-minute penalty.
And they're going to call roughing, which is a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down. And so, you know, just when you're Pima and you're thinking, oh, finally, we're going to get the ball back, another mental mistake.
And it's – you want to go block a punt, but at the same time, take what Snow's given you. Take what the defense did for you. The defense got a 4 and out, and now you go and make a play like that and just makes it really tough for everybody.
That's something that'll drive a head coach absolutely crazy as he's unable to let up. And, again, that'll be another penalty on Pima and give Snow new life as Labrador lines up in the backfield alongside Cantwell, who's in the pistol. And a fresh set of downs with 14:43 left to go in the game, and with a 38-13 lead, you got to feel pretty confident about Snow's chances here.
Yeah, you almost want to say it's close to over, but you know in sports it's never over until the final whistle.
Cantwell's going to keep it up the middle after no one could get open. He scrambles for about a yard. Tackle is made there by, looks like, number 96. Lopeti Fonokalafi.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see who the Badgers end up playing next week, most likely here at home. It's interesting to see that they do a little playoff between the top 4 teams and then the bottom 4 teams of the conference. So as of right now, we've got Snow, Eastern, Pima, and Arizona. So it'll be interesting to see if Snow ends up getting Pima here again next week.
And with the win today, that would solidify the number 1 seed for Snow, as they would be the only team with only 1 loss in the conference. And the handoff this time goes to Labrador, and he is pushed backwards and loses the yard that Campbell had gained on the previous play. And so that'll bring up another 3rd down and 10. And at this point, do you feel, Jeff, that Snow is just content running the ball and taking off as much time as possible?
I feel like there's a little bit of both, in the sense that they know what will happen if they don't keep playing good defense and they don't keep moving the ball. They know what they'll run into. I'm really interested to see if they'll bring Steven Shepard back onto the field, because a huge part of the Badger offense when they were really clicking and making a lot of runs and keeping the time running, it was due to Steven Shepard making plays on the ground.
Cantwell's back to pass, and under pressure he's going to throw the screen. And read beautifully there as the pass was caught by Labrador. Tackle was made there by number 40, Marquise Simmons, a sophomore linebacker, who read it perfectly. And again, a gain of about 1 to the 47. And so despite the roughing the kicker, Snow manages just 1 yard on 3 plays and is going to punt the ball once again.
Yeah, and with 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter, Snow College looks like they're in control, but I would really like to see Pima put together a drive right here. Maybe get a nice return, get up to about the 30 or the 40, and put together a drive and make a game out of this fourth quarter.
There's Darryl Clark back to receive the punt, standing at his own 9-yard line. Oh, and it's a fake! It's a fake punt, and the pass is caught. And, oh, I think he might have gotten it. The pass was caught, it looked like, by number 13, which would have been Salmon. And that's going to be close. And this might be another one where the spot is going to be right on the marker. And I think they might have to measure this one again as well. but actually looking where the ref is standing, ooh, that's close. He might be a couple feet short, but again, up 38-13 on 4th down, a little trickery with the fake punt.
Yeah, and the penalty there is waived, and it looks like the Badgers do pick up the first down.
And they're going to give it to him. It was close, and a nice job there from Salmon, who really looked like he was going to be stopped by a couple of Aztecs. Gets to the outside, is able to shed one tackler, and just, again, barely gets the first down. And, you know, is this the time now where Coach Mon, going into the tournament, starts pulling out, you know, some trickery just to kind of get some practice reps in, some actual game situations? Or what do you think the thought process is behind calling a fake punt when you're up 38-13 in the 4th quarter?
I think he calls it there because he knows he hasn't won the game yet. He saw that last week. Any team can still hang around, and I think he wants to put a cap on it. He wants to put it as a 4-possession game instead of a 3-possession game.
And the handoff this time goes to Shepard, who's going to go up for about 1.5 yards, bring up 2nd down and about 9. Now, we saw this, I'm not sure if you watched this, Jeff, but a few weeks ago when Utah played Oregon, they were up big in the second half, and they ran they ran a fake punt that went for a first down. And then I'm not sure if you saw the punt return that they faked, where they split off and they had one guy who acted like he was going to get the punt on the left side of the field, so the entire defense went there. When the punt actually went to the right side of the field, was caught by a return man, and he ran in untouched. So, again, some interesting we've seen in college football this year, some interesting, you know, trick plays that are called in late in second half games where it seems like the game is all but won.
Right, and maybe when I look at it, why do teams try to score as many points? It usually affects them in the rankings. So it wants me to look back to earlier in the season when Pima and Eastern met on Saturday, the 5th of September. Pima beat Eastern 36-33. So when you put that in comparison, if the Badgers can show that they beat Pima by a large number and only lost to Eastern that way, they can possibly move up higher in the rankings this week if they can continue to score, because that always does add into the factors how many points they score.
A lot of voters look, and again, not a lot of voters necessarily watch the game, but they'll look at the box score and the stats afterwards. And if you're looking at a game that ends up 38-13 with two teams playing, it looks a lot better than a game that ends up 38-24.
Exactly. And so they make those votes, and Snow College wants to play in a national championship, but the only way you're going to get that is if you're in second or first place. You've got to be up there. And Snow had set themselves up perfectly, but at the same time, you get a loss and you drop to 8th, and so they've got to win, and they've got to win big if they want to be in that position.
And it'll be 4th down again, and this time no fake, and a short punt that's going to take a Pima bounce this time, and then settle right at about the 18-yard line. And so when we come back, it'll be Pima's ball, 1st down and 10, trailing 38-13 from the 18-yard line with 10:49 left to play in the game. And 1st down, home back to pass, and he's going to lob another miscommunication with his receiver, as it actually looked like Moore that time was lined up at receiver, who cut off his route early, and home again lobs it way over his head, thinking that he was going to continue on a post route, but instead falls incomplete.
I just think it's so interesting how Snow College and Pima were so close in the first half and then come out in the second half. And it's just such a different game because Snow College defense just runs the table, just forces turnovers, scores points, and then why Pima changes quarterbacks and makes changes. It just doesn't make logical sense to me why they've done that.
And a nice defensive play there by Ben Bergeson. The pass looked like it had been reeled in there on the sideline, and he did a good job. As soon as it hit the receiver's hands, he swiped it away. And so it falls incomplete again. And so back-to-back incomplete passes brings up 3rd and 10 from the 18 with 10:39 to play. And again, you know, they bring in home thinking, you know, maybe we can try something different. Our offense has been struggling, and he has yet to complete a pass.
Yeah, and with Moore, you are completing passes, You were moving the ball. You just weren't able to cap things off in the red zone. That's the difference. You have 2 trips to the red zone and only get 6 points. You got a problem.
And another deep shot from home, looking deep, and it looks like that one was going for number 11, Cotton, who's been solid today. But again, overthrown and back-to-back-to-back incomplete passes yet again for Pima, as it looks like they're just throwing up desperation heaves down the sideline. And you know, Snow is sitting back saying, we'll allow you to try that, but we're not giving you any space. And again, another 3 and out from the 18, and this time, you know, it's Parker Prater back to receive the punt for Snow, as they're going to get the ball back in what should be excellent field position.
Yeah, and in all reality, when you look at it, you think Pima could have just kept doing what they were doing and probably would have had success.
And a good-looking punt here as Prater's going to field it and hit immediately. The ball comes out. The ball comes out, and this one's going to be scooped up by Pima. And now a scramble for it. I'm not sure if he controlled it down at about the yard. Back up home comes in and throws one of his own. And the ball is now in Snow's possession as they hand the ball off to Shepard on first down. He gets stuffed at the line for no gain. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 30 as the clock ticks under the 8:30 mark here in the 4th quarter. And
yeah,
this one is all but over here for the Badgers.
And with 8 minutes left, I truly do believe that the Badgers are going to go to the run. They'll try to run this thing out, put as much ice on it, and just come out with the win and not have to be concerned with anything else and prepare for next week.
Cantwell back, and he's going to hand the ball off yet again to Shepard, who goes up the middle, spins around, and gains about 3 or 4. That'll bring down 3rd and about 7 from the 33 and a half yard line. Now, if you're Snow and you're the coaching staff, do you tell them, all right, line up, but don't snap the ball till there's under 5 seconds left on the play clock, and then in a 3rd down and you know, a long 5, do you throw the ball for the first end, or do you continue to run it to try and run down the clock?
I believe Snow College is going to pass the ball here on this certain situation, but they don't. They give it right off to Shepard up the middle.
Shepard gets stuffed and lost maybe a yard.
So yeah, it's good. You take off a couple minutes off the game clock and then just punt the ball and just build. You got to play smart, so they got to field the ball here. You got to go down and make tackles. Don't let them pick up a huge return and get back into position to score. Looks like most likely either Pima with a loss today could possibly fall out of that 4th seed or that 3rd seed and go to the 4th, but it could be interesting to see what happens.
And another fake punt, and this time he's not going to get there. Interesting, he took the snap and he looked left, and it looked like there was just nothing but green grass ahead of him, and a good job by the Pima defenders. And it looked like that might have been number 34, Isaiah Burkle, the sophomore linebacker on the stop, who actually stopped the punter from gaining that first down. And so another interesting call. Do you think that was designed, or do you think that maybe he just has the freedom to decide, hey, if you see that much green grass ahead of you, go ahead and take off and see if you can get it? But at this point in the game,
personally, from a coach's viewpoint, I've never seen that to where you're up by 3 scores and you go for it like that. Like I just that's unorthodox, I guess. So I would have said it was the punter's choice there, but to me, you got to punt that, and then you give your defense a longer field to play defense.
And the swing pass goes out to Townsend from home, who picks up what looks like to be about 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3. A nice little out route there.
Yeah, and home is finally starting to find that rhythm. You know, he's starting to complete a few passes. He did throw the pick, but you can tell he's starting to find that niche with his receivers that, you know, they're starting to complete things, and it's not just backyard football.
Moore again is lined up on the right side in the slot at wide receiver. Looks like he's going to be running that through pretty much the rest of the game. And a throw that's off the fingertips and incomplete of what looked like number 27, which is Kamiehu Richards. And so that'll bring up another 3rd down, and Ben Bergeson again on the defense there, on the coverage, and he has been everywhere today.
Yeah, I would want to give him the defensive player of the game just because he's always flying around, But then you got to think about Jantz, Arbon, who scoops and scores and get a touchdown. But then on top of that, Eisenhower, 2 picks.
Eisinger with 2 picks, one of which he returned for a touchdown.
So great job there by the Badger defense.
And throwing for it all, and it's caught actually, and it looks like, are they going to give him? They give it to him, the touchdown, and Home throws it up for grabs. What looked like was just a jump ball with 2 defenders there, and who else? Timmy Hernandez with another spectacular catch. Going up and getting it, falls into the end zone. That's going to be a Pima touchdown.
Yeah, and it comes back to that 4th down. What are you going to do? You going to punt or you going to run? You have to punt. Easily Pima's in attacking range because of that. Now we get a situation, you're only down by 18. So what's that? Still a few scores, but, you know, it's starting to close that gap.
So they're going to go ahead and kick the PAT in lieu of going for 2 to make it a 17-point game. At one point, though, again, it's 3 scores regardless with under 6 minutes to go. The PAT is up and good, so that'll be 38-20. At what point do you start kicking the onside kick or thinking about that?
Yeah, you could try it here, but at the same time, you don't want to give up, but it's going to be hard to come from behind for that one. So what you're going to see is, my guess is they'll line up in it, and they'll decide whether or not to go for it when they're there.
And so we'll see what they decide to do as, again, a fake punt, the second fake punt of the day. This one coming up short for the Badgers, leads to a short field. And on 3rd down, Home throws up what looked like was just a prayer for Timmy Hernandez, who goes up in double coverage and makes the catch for the touchdown. And with 5:51 left in this game, it's 38-20. And it's interesting how quickly that can change the mindset if you're a player out there, a quick score like that.
Yeah, exactly. And it looks like Coach Mon has brought out his hands team, and it looks like Pima's setting to, looks like they're just setting to do a regular kick, but they're not loaded to any side specifically, so we'll see what they end up doing.
And so will they kick it deep or will they try the onside? We'll find out here in just a second as Farmer is back to kick. You see him kind of speaking with his guys, and 4 to his right and 5 to his left. And he's just going to go right up the middle with it. And it did go 10 yards. I'm not sure if he touched it before then, but it looks like they actually might have recovered. And a flag comes in as it's getting a little chippy there in the pile. Yet to see a signal to see whose ball it is. They're trying to get the bottom of that pile to see who's got it. And a lot of Pima guys are coming out of the pile signaling it should be their ball.
And it looks like they have it.
And it is. Still waiting for the signal. And it is. It is going to be Pima ball. And so they go, and they don't necessarily load up either one side and kick it right up the middle. And I'm not sure. It looked like it was about 8 yards. The kicker slid, looking like he was about to touch it, did a good job of avoiding that. And as soon as it went 10 yards, he snagged it. And it's going to be Pima football barring penalty, as there's a flag out on the field as the refs are discussing, and we'll see what that is.
It's probably going to be on the Badgers, another 15 yards for unsportsmanlike. So I could see this going for Pima.
And so if this does go against Snow with 5:51 left to play, it'll be Pima football. They'll have the ball at about the 40-yard line.
Personal foul.
And it is.
Personal foul. Pima. This penalty's offset.
Oh, and actually they're going to be offsetting penalties. It's getting a little chippy in the pile. And so both teams called for an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. That'll offset, but it will still be Pima football at the 46-yard line with 5:51 to go. And it looks like Home is back out there. And fans here getting a little restless, don't like that after giving up a quick touchdown and the onside kick.
Yeah, so you're put in a situation where you just got scored on, and now the Aztecs back in position to score. You know, if I'm Snow College, I look back and say, why did we go for it on 4th down? And I feel like that's where everything started to break down a little bit. But in all reality, they got to come out here and play some defense.
We'll see if Pima can make him play as they're throwing. He's got a wide open man, and that's Cotton again, who's been wide open all day. And he steps out of bounds all the way down at the 34-yard line. And so a nice connection there from Home to Cotton. And it's going to be another 1st down, and he wisely gets out of bounds to stop the clock with 5:45 left to play.
Yeah, and it's to think that you're up by close to 4 scores, and now Pima could bring it within 14, it's interesting to see what could happen.
And under pressure, Home is going to run, and he ends up just throwing it too high, intended for the tight end, Diedrich. And that'll go out of bounds. And nice pressure there, it looked like, from number 36, which is Dax Eisinger, who we've said his name more than a few times tonight.
Yeah, and he flies around, plays good defense. Eisinger, basically what I look at him, I just see him as the leader of this defense. He sits right at that linebacker, middle linebacker position, watches everything, usually gets in charge of the QB spy with teams like Pima, of course, that like to run the ball. He's just really great player, doesn't ever start churning. He's 6'1", 225 out of Alpine, Utah.
And this one, he's going to swing it wide, and that one's caught by Darrell Clark, who's wrestled down at about the 28-yard line, it looks like, 27-yard line, and this will bring up a third down. And at this point, you're in four-down territory.
Yeah, exactly. You're in the situation where you've got to score, and there's no field goals to win this game. You've played conservative the whole game. If you're Pima, you've really got to start tacking now.
And it looks like we have an injured Badger that's over there on the far side of the field along the Pima sideline. Can't quite see who that is. It looks like that actually might be Ivan King, who is the man who made the tackle. And so they will attend to him as both teams huddle up. And we're going to take a quick break as they attend to the injured Badger. We'll be right back with you here on Snow TV. And we're back here at Badger Stadium. 3rd down and 3 from the 27 with 5:20 to play for Pima as they trail 38-20 after scoring a quick touchdown. They also recovered an onside kick.
And you saw Ivan King get up and run off the field under his own power, so that's always a good sign for them. But they'll take him to the training table and give him an analysis to see what the issue is and where the issue is.
And a little bit of miscommunication there. And it looks like they're going to add a little bit of time to the clock as it started running before they had officially started the run of play again. And so on his signal, the clock starts running under 5:20 now. And Home in the shotgun. He's going to take the snap and he's going to hand it off, and it looks like he's going to be, he's fighting for yardage, and again, that's right at the sticks. And it looks like that time they might have given the ball off to Landon Floyd, the running back.
4th down.
And it looks like they are going to be a little bit short. It's going to be 4th and 1 down on the 25-yard line. They have maybe a half a yard to go. They're going to hand the ball off to Townsend, and he breaks up the middle, and he's going to score. Touchdown for Pima as Townsend on 4th and 1 goes right up the middle, virtually untouched until he reached the goal line, and another touchdown for Pima. And they are a PAT away from making it very, very interesting at 27-38. At this point, do you go for 2 to try to make it a 10-point game, or do you hold off, stay at 11, and once you score again? Because at some point, you're going to go for 2.
Yeah, and I would want it to come down to the last play compared to have to do it right now. You go for the PAT and you get it so that you make sure you get the points and you do it now and not have to make that call until you win the game.
Farmer adds the PAT to make it 38-27, and just like that, what was 4 minutes ago a 38-13 blowout, a fake punt that failed for Snow, a touchdown for Pima, a quick touchdown, an onside kick, and now another touchdown for Pima. All of a sudden, this game is a lot different, and you can see the fans getting a little fidgety in their seats.
You remember, Chase, at the start of the game, we talked about Snow College having to play all 4 quarters. And what's happened? The 3rd quarter, they came out with fire. They came out with momentum. Really, just a huge blowout. And then the 4th quarter, what happens? They just stepped back, started to be nonchalant, started to be a little bit lazy. And then what happens? They're, in all reality, Pima's 1 score away from tying or winning this game.
And so down 11 Farmer setting up to kick, and you'd assume at this point that they're going to go ahead and try another onside kick. Still down by 2 scores with 4:41 to play. Last time they kicked it right up the middle. Was grabbed right after 10 yards for Pima, where they recovered, and we'll see what they try here. It worked last time. Where do they kick it this time? We're about to find out. As Farmer gets the whistle as he's ready to play, puts the hand up. He's going to run forward, and he's going to kind of pop it up in the air. A fair catch called for and made. Wisely done so by number 19, Jalen Rapp.
Yeah, that's smart. The Badgers now looking 4 minutes left. So, yeah, it's Pima's, still got some hope in them, but in all reality, what the Badgers have to do here is they have to take control by doing what? Not letting off the gas, because they've really backed off. I think they need to start attacking again. That's when they were having a lot of success. And
so we'll see what they decide to do as Stephen Cantwell and the Badger offense comes out to take over at the 41-yard line. Shepard split off to his right. He's got another man to his left. Sends Shepard in motion, and he's going to hand the ball off this time to his big running back Labrador, who keeps the feet moving, and he's going to pick up a first down. And a nice play there to keep churning there is Josh Labrador, number 25, picks up 13 on 1st and 10. And that'll bring it to another first down across midfield at about the Aztec 47-yard line. So a big run there, and just kind of what the doctor ordered for what seemed to be an ailing Badger team.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see on 1st down and 10. You just want to run the ball, you want to get some yardage, you want to keep the chains moving, and you also keep the clock moving. Of course, both teams still have all 3 timeouts, so that'll come down to when Pima decides to start using those. They've got to get some stops on 1st and 2nd down.
And Cantwell hand the ball off to Labrador. Now this one's to Shepard, who, big hole there, cuts back and takes a big hit as he crosses the 30. And that time, another big gain, runs for about 20, and he takes it down to about the 27, 28-yard line, and that'll be another Badger first down. And so, again, back on the field. Haven't really produced much in the 4th quarter. Back-to-back big runs by this Badger offense.
Yeah, and it's awesome because it puts the clock under 4 minutes, 3 minutes and 45 seconds. And so the Badgers are really taking more control. And I wish we could have seen this happen before Pima went on their little 2-score try to come back, was that the Badgers were not gaining this kind of yards on the run play. So you hope to see them continue to do this and have success, and I think it's due to number 3 in the backfield.
Cantwell gives it off to Shepard again, who runs forward, and he's still fighting for yards, gains about 4. He's going to bring out 2nd and about 6 from the 25-yard line. And Pima's going to go ahead and take their first time out of the second half. They'll have 2 remaining. And we're going to take a quick timeout with them. We'll be right back with you with the Badgers. Welcome back to Badger Stadium as the Badgers face the 2nd and 6 from the 25, up 38-27 with 3:17 left to go in the game. Cantwell out of the shotgun. He's going to hand the ball off, and this one goes to Labrador again, who keeps churning, and he's fighting. He's still going, still on his feet, finally down all the way to the 10-yard line. And so, again, a run that looked like it was going to be stopped for maybe a gain of 4 or 5. He keeps churning, gains 15, and that'll be 1st and 10, or maybe even 1st and goal, depending on the spot, right at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, and Labrador, along with the rest of the Badger running backs, it's that yak. Maybe not the yak, sorry. It's the yards after contact. So I don't know if you want to call it yak, like yards after catch or whatever, but It's definitely, after the contact, after they get hit, it's keeping the feet moving, keeping the yards going, and that's what's kept drives alive, especially this drive in particular.
As we tick under 3 minutes here, it's first down, and they end up spotting it at the 11, so they can get a first down inside the 1. Can the Badger offense? Cantwell still out of the shotgun. He's going to fake this time and roll out, and he's going to throw, and incomplete. He had a man streaking across the front of the end zone. It looks like that was 84, which would have been Campbell again, who's made a couple of big plays and scored a touchdown earlier today as well. But that one falls incomplete and stops the clock with 2:38 left to play, 2nd and 10. And it looks like that was Ryan, and that's a tough last name. I'm going to attempt to Bilau.
Yeah, it's interesting that Snow College tried to catch Pima sleeping on that play right there. And it almost did. The ball was low, and Campbell tried to make the catch, and Cantwell put it right there for him to make the play, but he was just unable to haul it in.
Campbell will take the snap and give the ball off to Labrador yet again, and he takes a big hit after gaining about 3 yards, down to about the 8-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 7, as the clock's still ticking with 2:25 left. Quick update if there are any BYU fans tuning into the game. As expected, they are running it up on the Wagner Seahawks, 49-6 with 6:52 left in the 3rd quarter. That one, as everyone expected, is just a runaway for the Cougars. And Snow College was in a game where it looked like it was going to be a runaway, up 38-13 with about 8 minutes left to go in the 3rd. A couple of Aztec scores that made it a little bit closer, but with 3rd and 7 to go from the 8 and under 2 minutes to go, it looks like they should walk away with this one, as Shepard's going to go up the middle and get stopped at about the 5-yard line, picks up maybe 2, and that'll bring up 4th down. And so up 38-27, a field goal gives you a 2-touchdown lead, and it looks like they are going to go ahead and send the field goal team out there, as Pima is going to go ahead and take another timeout. We're going to take a timeout with them. We'll be right back on Snow TV. And we're back here at Badger Stadium in the beautiful Ephraim, Utah. 1:42 left to play, and Cantwell's in the shotgun on 4th down and 5. Looks like they're going to go for it. They might be trying to draw the defense off sides so they get a free play. And the play clock is going to hit 0, and they're going to go ahead and take a delay of game. And it looked like, yes, Cantwell was in there just to see if maybe they could draw an offsides, and that would have been enough for the first down. But they'll go ahead and take the penalty, and it looks like they're going to send out the kicking team.
Yeah, and that's smart play there by Coach Mon. You want to see that. You do want to score. You want to, keep putting the pedal down, but a field goal is much better than walking away from this drive without any points.
Interesting that they wouldn't take a timeout to save the 5 yards for their kicker. They don't do it, and now Moose Bingham is looking at about a 28-yarder. Snaps down, hold is good, and the kick is up and good. So 5 yards didn't matter to Moose, and that'll give them the 41-27 lead. Again, 1:39 left in the 4th quarter. Can the Aztecs pull off a little bit of magic? We'll find out. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with you. And we're back, Badger Stadium, for the kickoff. Moose Bingham sends it deep. And taking about 6 yards deep in his end zone. He's going to bring it out against the encouragement of his teammates. And he is tackled down at about the 10-yard line. And it looked like that was number 22 again, Brandon Yamamoto. And he caught the ball about 6 yards deep in the end zone. And about 3 or 4 of his Aztec teammates were saying, hey, take a knee, take a knee. But he wanted to see if he could do something for himself and ends up getting tackled back at the 10-yard line.
That's a big difference. That's 15 yards that, you need. 15 yards is huge when you're trying to put together drives to come from behind, especially with 1:35. It's maybe it was just the idea of like trying to break it free for a touchdown because, you're not going to be able to do much in that time. We did see in the end of the first half that they were able to drive with about 1:40 and score a touchdown. So we know it can be done.
And a deep-looking pass is almost intercepted. Looking for Jeff Cotton, and it was Jordan Prater who comes over and Parker Prater, excuse me, brother Jordan. Parker Prater goes up and really should have had the interception, drops it, and you could look, he's upset with himself right now.
Yeah, and it was awesome because he read the quarterback's eyes. The ball was underthrown, and so he just steps over, tried to make the play on it, and just was unable to hold on because it was pretty high. The ball was just on the outstretched arms of Prater.
And that'll bring up 2nd and 10 from the 10 as Home is back to pass out of the shotgun. Looking over the middle. Pass is caught this time by Diedrich, his big tight end, and that'll go for a first down. Gain of about 10. So that'll move the chains and stop the clock momentarily at 1:23. Take it all the way to the 22.
That's what you want if you're Pima. If you can get something to move the chains and then hike the ball and get going. Like that's good if you want to keep the ball moving. You got to keep getting first downs.
And it's intercepted again. Another interception thrown by Home, and this one Parker Prater finally gets, and he's going to take it all the way into the end zone for a Badger touchdown. So he drops one just a minute ago. This time he makes sure, hey, there's no way I'm going 0 for 2 with my chances this time. Takes it all the way into the end zone. Essentially walks untouched into the end zone, and that makes it 47-27. PAT pending for the Badgers, and that'll do it and that'll do it. That wraps it up. That's a dagger.
Yeah, and now you're down by 20, 47-27. That's exactly what the Badgers wanted, and you got to give this game to the defense because the offense, they did produce quite a bit, but if you're having 3 touchdowns off your defense, that's saying something.
3 defensive scores and 5 turnovers in the second half alone. And so what was a 10-13 deficit at halftime for Snow, they have really turned it on in the second half and just blown this one wide open. And again, it's Parker Prater with his interception, returned for a touchdown. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with you. And welcome back to Badger Stadium after another defensive touchdown. The Badgers now lead 48-27 with 1:03 left. This one's over. Moose Bingham will still kick it off from the 35. And it's a short kick, an onside kick, and the ball's just sitting there, and it looks like the Badgers might have gotten it. And another bit of special teams trickery as they do an onside kick with 1 minute left, up by 21 points. And yet to see a signal from the official, but it certainly looked like the Badgers jumped on it.
Yeah, and I don't understand that. You just kick the ball deep and end a game, but I guess the Badgers want to try to put another score on.
And there it is. There's the signal. It is Badger football, and now all they will have to do is take a couple of knees. With Pima only having 1 timeout, I don't believe they'll be able to stop the clock And so a couple of knees should do it here for this Badger team. And interesting, that is the third special teams kind of trick play or unexpected play that we've seen from Snow tonight.
Yeah, and it's interesting to think why Snow College did that. I didn't see the reasoning behind it, but yeah, it's not going to give Pima the opportunity to do anything, and it looks like the Badgers are just going to come out and kneel the ball.
In victory formation, and Cantwell in the game will take a knee.
And that's smart. Like, that's just great sportsmanship. I thought the Badgers were going to try to run up the score there, and then you kind of question that, but just coming out to get the ball, that way you can end it on your own terms, then you might as well.
And they'll have to take at least one more snap, as Pima is electing not to take their final timeout as the clock rolls under 40 seconds. And one more kneel down, assuming Pima doesn't call their timeout, should do it from Stephen Cantwell. And just an absolutely beautiful all-around performance from the defense. The offense looked good, and this is a huge win that clinches first place in the conference. And that'll do it as the clock now ticking under 17 and 16, 15 seconds. The bench is clear as they shake hands, say their good games, and again, an absolutely outstanding performance, especially from this Snow defense, to get this win against a good Pima team.
Yeah, and it's interesting how everything turned out, because at the start of the game you didn't think that the Badgers were going to come up with a win. It was Pima in control, and then the second half comes out. The Badgers really start to just dominate, and then in the fourth quarter you start to question if the Badgers were really going to hold on, and they do.
Thanks to 5 turnovers and 3 defensive touchdowns in the second half, the Badgers win it 48-27 here at Badger Stadium. For Jeff Brinton, I'm Chase Metcalf and our whole hardworking crew. Thank you so much for dialing in. It's another Badger winner.